What's up, guys? Welcome tonight to Boxing Insider Promotions Fight Night Official Pre-Show. Presented to you by Larry Goldberg's Boxing Insider Promotions and in association with DeBella Entertainment. We are live here in Sony Hall in New York City in the Big Apple and also live on BoxingInsider.com. I'm one of your co-hosts, Cynthia Conte, and I'm riding with my co-pilot.
And I am Giandra LaBeouf, happy to be here tonight to talk boxing with you. It's going to be a great night of fighting, action-packed card at Sony Hall, and I know New York City is ready to see all this fight action.
Giandra, this is so exciting. You know how I love club shows. I love it. I've hosted them. You've witnessed being in a club show because these club shows are your future world champions.
Absolutely. And what we see here tonight sets the tone for the future implications of the division, people looking to make a name, people who are established and reintroducing themselves. But there's going to be a great night of fights, and Sony Hall never disappoints. It keeps getting more popular and popular.
We can see right now Sony Hall is getting packed. People are coming literally in their suits and in their business wear because they want to see some fights. I get it. You want to go home. You have to go home. But you got to see some fights. When it's live here in Times Square, you have to come watch a live fight night because these are some of the best prospects. And there's some names on this card that we will mention in a little bit that we have seen on the big stage before.
Yes, there are some exciting names that fight fans will be familiar with. We're going to talk to them during the course of this live show. But we are here to recap tonight's exciting card, tonight's exciting action, and it's a good time to be together again to do this opportunity with each other.
I know, it's all action fights. You know I love a bloody war. I love knockouts. I know you do too, but as long as everyone is safe. These fighters, they're all coming out because a lot of them have been on Larry Goldberg's card before. A lot of them, it's a very international card, but a lot of them are fighting out of either Dominican Republic or Mexico or somewhere, but they're all fighting out of New York City. So I always consider it's a local war between everyone.
Mm-hmm. Not to mention, like you said, it's going to be some local wars. We're fresh off of the Puerto Rican Day Parade, but the pride is still reigning true. We have Puerto Ricans on the card. Mm-hmm. It's going to be an awesome event. There's going to be some fisticuffs being thrown. Puerto Rico's standing.
You never know. I mean, there's going to be what? Mexico versus Puerto Rico. Also fighting out in New York, so everyone, but everyone's going to have their flags. And what I do love about a club show, it's not just the fights. It's about the fans and the family because they all come out and support. Because sometimes you won't be able to go to, across country to come to Los Angeles or, somewhere else to go support their fighters. So coming into Sony Hall tonight and be able to cheer them on and see them perform, that just gives that extra oomph to that fighter.
Not to mention, there is something special about fighting in New York City. The Mecca of Boxing, Madison Square Garden is here. And if you're a young fighter, particularly on the East Coast, it's something to be said about fighting in New York, which has been a hotbed of boxing for so many years. And all of these combatants tonight are looking to establish themselves in the sport and really make a good show of things.
Well, tonight, we know Sony Hall is going to be packed. Everyone's going to be on a buzz, literally on a buzz. So make sure you guys tip your bartenders, have fun, and also use our official hashtag Boxing Insider Live. Go on all your socials. If you tag it on YouTube, Twitter, I don't even know all the other socials. What is TikTok?
All of it. Instagram, TikTok, anywhere where you can enter a social media hashtag Boxing Insider Live. Hell, put it on Facebook too. Tag Boxing Insider on Facebook and make sure you use the official hashtag Boxing Insider Live for tonight's event.
And I know you guys are wondering, who are these two ladies doing this pre-show for Boxing Insider Fight Night?
Yes.
If you guys don't know, and many of you guys may, but I hope you guys do, we have a podcast, Best Women's Boxing Show, period, on YouTube, Twitter, Stitch,
everywhere.
Apple, everywhere, anywhere that you can listen to something, we are on there. We've had some great guests. We are in season 2, and so this is very, very exciting. It's our new set, so we are very excited to be part of Boxing Insider, to be able to bring you a live fight night, to set the tone for tonight, because this is very, very exciting. All right, Chandra, this event, there's already been, this is the 5th show for Boxing Insider, and every show has been action-packed, and sadly, Larry, I wish it was a female on the card,
Yes.
any female, and especially even headlining, but we do have an incredible main event. We have Kurt Scooby versus Henry Hank Lundy. You guys know that name. Kurt Scooby is 11-0 by way of 9 knockouts. Originally from Duarte, California, moved his way out to New York City, which is incredible. I can't wait to interview him because you're going to learn a little bit more about him, how he got to New York, and how cheap it was. And he's fighting Henry Lundy. You're going to be interviewing him early. You actually interviewed him. I'm sorry. And this man is no stranger to the big stage.
Yes, he is. He's been in a substantial amount of wars. We've seen him in with everyone from arguably the best fighter of the year, or the best pound-for-pound fighter in boxing, Terrence Crawford. We've seen him in with lots of big names, Mauricio Herrera,
Victor Postol, Jose Cepeda, who just had a war with Regis Prograis.
Absolutely.
Oh, so I'm curious to see how Hank is it Hammerin Lundy? Is it Hank? What is it now?
He was always Hammerin Hank Lundy in the box rec. For all you box rec lovers, it'll say still Henry Hank Lundy, but I'm sure he'll be cool with Hank. But he's been in some terrific fights, and he is a good challenge for any young fighter come up. He is battle tested, and he is definitely going to put a good show of things.
Well, Kurt Scooby did tell me in our interview earlier that he needed someone battle tested, even though his record is only 11-0 and 9 knockouts. Mm-hmm. He needs someone in there, a veteran, to show his skills, because the weight that he's gone down from 215, he was I know it's crazy. He was a professional, his former football player from Azusa Pacific. He went from 215. That's
wild.
Heavyweight. And he's fighting at 140.
Mm-hmm. And he will find a formidable foe with Hank Lundy standing across from him, continuing the Philly tradition. Everyone knows strong, tough fighters come from Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. And Hank Lundy presents that challenge for him, because we love to see the apple cart get upset, and we don't know what the implications of a fight like this might be.
Yeah, you never know. Anything can happen in boxing.
Yes.
And in the co-feature bout, Brian Ceballo versus Mitch Starchild Lewis Charles. Brian Ceballo, 14-1 and 7 knockouts. He was actually the main event in the last card. He had a stunning victory. He got the rounds in. He's been on the big stage before. He's fought under Gennady. He's fought on DAZN. He's fought at the Mecca of boxing, which is one of the biggest stages you can get on. And for him to come back, I know when I've interviewed him before that it was unfortunate pandemic. That was the problem. And so that's not just for him, but for every fighter. But I've interviewed him when he actually went pro and got signed with Tom Loeffler 360 Promotions. Mm-hmm.
And on the opposite from him, Mitch Starchild Lewis Charles may be new to some fans who will be tuning in, who will be visiting Sony Hall that night. He is from Canada. His record is 7-3-2 with 4 knockouts. The record is not always the indicator of what a fighter can do. Records can be very deceiving. Everyone comes in there, they're bringing their A game, and they want the opportunity, and Mitch is going to get his opportunity in a very tough co-main event.
Yeah, Brian Ceballo said in our interview that he liked his performance last time. He was satisfied with the win, but he could do better. Mm-hmm. He needed to be sharper. So we're going to see tonight, will he make those adjustments?
Absolutely.
So this is very exciting.
Very much
and
so.
then in an 8-round super lightweight bout, Terrell, the problem Bostic, versus Matthew Lefty Guns Gonzalez. Terrell is 8-1 by way of 1 knockout, and Matthew is from Puerto Rico, fighting out of New York. 12 0 losses, 1 draw, and 8 KOs. When I spoke with Terrell earlier, man has some fast hands. He has one of those sneakiest uppercuts that have landed, and he fought on one of the previous Boxing Insider cards where he landed and knocked the guy out or dropped the guy with that sneaky uppercut.
Absolutely. And opposite of him, we have Matthew Lefty Guns, who was a junior Olympian, a standout. We've got a local war that's happening here. We've got all New York. The fans are going to be excited. Like I said, we are fresh off of the Puerto Rican Day Parade that just happened like a couple weeks ago. He is looking to get in there to mix it up and send a message and take the next step in his career.
This is the local war that Larry kept saying.
War.
This could be the fight of the night tonight.
It could be. It threatens to steal the fight night, especially when you have the hometown fans on hand. They are looking to see something great happen in a ring, and all the ingredients are there to make that happen.
I can't wait to see. Maybe this could be a knockout of the night.
Maybe. Maybe.
And then in a 4-rounder super featherweight bout, we have Raymond Quadrado versus Yuri Andujar. Raymond is from Queens, 7-0 by way of 3 knockouts. And Yuri is 5-1 and 3 knockouts. Dominican Republic fighting out of New York City. You just said it, the same with about a record.
Yes, records can be deceiving, and not to mention lots of Dominicans and Queens of fans are going to be excited to see this. It could be another hometown battle of sorts, but both men are just looking to do the best they can and keep it moving along. And Sony Hall is going to play a great venue to make it happen.
Oh, yeah. And then also to start out the night, usually when you start out a fight night, a club show, it's usually a 4-rounder, a 6-rounder. But Larry's like, let's do it. Larry and Lou, let's put an 8-rounder welterweight bout. We got Arnold A.G. Gonzalez. He's 11-0 by way of 6 knockouts, taking on Alejandro Munera. He's 8-7, 8. You go right ahead. It's a lot of numbers.
Yes, Arnold Gonzalez is 11-0 with 6 knockouts. They'll be fighting in the welterweight division. For our fans here on the East Coast, they might have seen him on the undercard of the Gervonta Davis versus Rolly Romero card that was here recently. He is looking to make a statement. He won by 4th round TKO in his previous fight. And we're going to find out what some of those victories taught him and what he hopes to accomplish with a win.
Well, this is the fight. This is your fight card tonight. It's a 5-bout fight card, but you never know what's going to happen. There could be early knockouts. They could take him to the distance. Just because they go the distance, it doesn't mean anything. That means they got their rounds, and they will learn something. But for the crowd in attendance right now at Sony Hall, I see it is getting packed. It is lively. The music, I see people dancing. This is exciting, Giandra.
It's an exciting night. Sony Hall and BoxingInsider, in a partnership with Lou DiBella, is quickly establishing themselves as a must-go destination for local cards. The fight fans are responding in New York City. Again, New York City is a mecca of boxing, and it's filling a niche that desperately was needed here in New York City. And there's some terrific names that are looking to make their voice heard.
And like we talked about earlier, make sure you guys use the hashtag BoxingInsider Live on all of your socials across the board. And we are going to be doing a giveaway.
Yes.
So whoever uses it, we're going to randomly pick someone who hashtags it. You could do it 50 times, 100 times. And if we see it, you're going to get some merch from us or maybe Larry. We don't know.
Somebody's sending something.
Yeah, we're going to give you something.
Yes.
But so you know how this all started, Giandra. I've always known you that you started with BoxingInsider. That's
Yes.
how I've known you. You're a writer for them, and I didn't even know who Larry was. And you've been writing for them and doing video for them and interviews. And now it's come full circle that there's fights on in New York, club shows. We're doing the pre-show for them. Tell me a little bit about Larry.
Larry Goldberg is a lifelong boxing fan, has been committed to the sport, began on the journalist side point of view, and then has had this life shift into promoting cards, supporting local fighters, and just increasing the boxing scene in New York City. And now he has this opportunity, now a 5th opportunity, partnering with Lou DiBella to put these cards on at Sony Hall. He's doing a tremendous job. And it's just very exciting to see a new voice in the sport who is passionate, who is knowledgeable about the sport, to put cards on here, to celebrate young fighters, and again, fill that niche that's needed in New York City.
It is a testament to Larry and Lou, because Lou, we've always known about Broadway Boxing, and this is in association with Broadway Boxing because of Lou. But it's grassroots boxing, and we've talked about this. We've seen it in the news, very recent, about boxing and in the Olympics. It might not even be there anymore. Mm-hmm. So where are these amateurs going to go? Where are all these young fighters going to go? They cannot just go pro. They have to go somewhere and like test their skills. Mm-hmm. So this is, for all the promoters, not just Larry and Lou, but to put on a club show, because easily Larry could have been like, I want to just go do something big.
Yeah.
And then, and just ride with it. But to get these fighters to, help them with their record, get them working. I love that, especially after pandemic.
And I think a lot of fans are not casual fans, and people who are maybe 1 foot in, 1 foot out with boxing may not understand the importance of these shows. A lot of people know of the Olympic route for fighters to go into the pro ranks, but it is these fights, these cards that are critical, where the best talent at the local level gets an opportunity to match against and see what's out there in the marketplace. These fights are critical for these fighters, for their development. And as fans, it gives you an opportunity to learn them, to grow with them. So when they reach that next level, you can say you got in with them on the ground floor, not a bandwagon fan.
Well, I mean, kudos to Larry, kudos to Lou, kudos to everyone that's putting this show on, and kudos to you fans, everyone that's tuning in right now, Boxing Insider Live. You're streaming the fight. Thank you for even tuning in to us, because this is the very first pre-show, official pre-show, to bring in Fight Night, to set the stage for you, to set the tone, because this is going to be fun. I'm sorry. I get so excited. I keep knocking my mic. You know, we are live, so anything can happen. I'm sorry.
Technology won us 0, but we're going to make it.
Yeah. And then, so I know that we have that local war with Terrell, the problem Bostic, and Matthew Lefty Guns Gonzalez. And it's an 8-round super lightweight.
We are now joined by welterweight Arnold Gonzalez. Thank you so much for your time today. Very exciting time for you. When we last saw you, you were on the Gervonta Davis versus Rolly Romero undercard. What do you want when you step into the ring this Thursday at Sony Hall? What type of statement would you like to make to the fans who are on site and will be watching online?
I just want to be first of all, thank you for having me on the show, and thanks for your time and for everyone's time for making this happen. I'm born and raised in Harlem, New York, and I just want to. It feels good to come back to a local show and be able to like just display like all my skills and everything I developed, because I've been living in Los Angeles the past 3 years, so it feels, and so I'm excited to come back home and be able to showcase my growth as a professional fighter in front of a local crowd, in front of my family, my friends, and everyone I know from back then in boxing. The boxing community.
It can be a little bit daunting when you fight in front of the hometown crowd. How would you describe the energy of fighting in front of the hometown? Like you said, you've been gone living in Los Angeles for 3 years. That's quite a flip-flop. LA and New York, 2 different vibes, 2 different cultures. So now you get to return. What is that energy like in the arena when you get to fight in front of the hometown crowd?
I just feel like there's it's exciting. It's exciting because I get to see a lot of familiar faces. And I get obviously to reconnect with a lot of people that have been in part of the process of me coming up as an amateur fighter and early on in my career. So I'm excited to just reconnect with everyone and perform in front of all my New York City people.
And the challenge at hand for the New York City people is against Arnold Munera. What do you know about him as a fighter that you've had a chance to see, or just what's been communicated to you in your preparation for the fight? What do you know about him?
So actually, I was scheduled to fight another fighter, and his name was Yusuf Kinda from the Bronx, New York, but he had some medical issues that the commission didn't approve him. So this is a completely new name for me that we just found 2 days ago. So to be honest, I don't know much about him, but I'm prepared for anything, and we're in really good shape.
This is not unusual for fighters to fall out of fights and a last-minute replacement be brought in. So how does the mind shift change when you go from knowing something about an opponent to not knowing anything? You mentioned that you're going to be prepared for whatever, but what's that shift like in your mind to go in towards a completely unassuming foe that you don't know anything about?
To be honest, like I don't really go on a mind shift. I just trust my preparation. I trust everything I've done throughout training camp. I trust my team. I trust my talent, my skills, and I just believe in myself. And I know that I feel like my biggest weapon is being able to adapt to whatever's in front of me. That's both in boxing and in life. So tonight's gonna be nothing new to me, and we're gonna go out there, put on a good show, and get the win.
Absolutely. Your most recent win was against Jesus Bravo. You won by a 4th-round TKO, and before that, you had a split decision win against Tracy Magruder. What did each of these bouts teach you as a fighter that you can take moving into the future against future bouts?
I feel like I learned something with every fight. On the Tracy Magruder fight at the Barclays Center, it was actually a tougher fight than I expected. But again, like my preparation and my training throughout camp and helped me out on that fight, and I was able to outwork Tracy Magruder. So, and we went back, made some adjustments, and went to fight Jesus Bravo, a very experienced fighter who's fought in many names before, and we actually had a better result on a 4th round TKO.
And then lastly, Thursday night, Sony Hall, Harlem will have an opportunity to turn up for you. What message do you want to send to your OG family in Harlem and your new family in Los Angeles? What do you want to say to everybody who's going to be rooting for you that night?
Well, everyone that's going to come out, like, I greatly appreciate it. I know everyone's day is, everyone has, personal things they got to take care of, especially on a weekday. And, they might have work on Friday morning, but for everyone coming out and everyone just tuning in from their homes, it means a lot to me. It means a lot to, I'm sure, every fighter in this card, to have spectators and watching and supporting our dreams. And so I'm just grateful, for this opportunity, for everyone tuning in, and for everyone that's making this possible.
Thank you. Well, we wish you the best of luck on Thursday night.
You mean tonight?
We
you
wish
are
you,
like tonight.
We wish you the best of luck in your bout tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. And Harlem, stand up. Get ready for a fight.
Real fast, Arnold, before we let you go, for everyone that's tuning in right now on BoxingInsider.com, that's streaming this live, that are not able to come out, can you set up what it's like for you and what it is going to be for a fan? Because some people have never been to a club show or have never been to a fight. But how can you explain to them? Because I know people would love to, but they either can't.
You want me to explain like what was your question? I'm sorry.
Can you set up what Sony Hall would be like for a fan, and as for you, a fighter, to show what kind of performance you're going to give?
Got it. I mean, it's going to be in Times Square, New York City. So you already know, and I'm from Harlem, New York. I'm from Uptown Manhattan, so I'm gonna have all of Harlem in the building. It's going to be loud. It's going to be a lot of people supporting me, I'm sure, and every fighter is going to have a great crowd. So expect a lot of good energy, a lot of shouting. But me myself, I'm going to be extremely focused. I'm just going to be listening to my team. I'm going to go out there, have fun, because when I have fun, that's when I perform my best. And I'm gonna stick to the game plan and on what my team gives me. But it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun night. It's gonna be a lot going on, and I'm gonna make the most of it. And I hope everyone that comes in and that tunes in makes the most of it as well. There's a lot of talent in the card.
Well, best of luck to you, Arnold, tonight. We're going to be watching, and we're going to be cheering all of you guys on. Jonder, this is, like he said, there's going to be a lot of shouting, and there's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be an exciting night. It's terrific for the fight fans. Thank you again, Arnold, for joining us this week on Boxing Insider Live.
Official pre-fight or pre-show.
Brought to you by
Ceballo Entertainment.
In association
with Ceballo Entertainment. I'm sorry, so many words. It is Boxing Insider by Larry Goldberg in association with Ceballo Entertainment. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Larry. Sorry, Lou. All right, well, you take care.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Well, Arnold is so sweet. I mean, he's ready, and I know he's going to bring a lot of fans from Harlem, and that's what I love about these club shows, because the whole borough is going to be there.
Whole borough. Last time I was just out here recently for the Teofimo fight, and I had a chance to go up to Harlem. There's some bomb Jamaican food in Harlem.
I saw in your girl. I was like, I think I just gained some weight just watching. It was yums, but no, this is like he said. It's going to be the way that for the fans that are watching and people who have never been to a live fight night in any sense. The crowd, the electricity that everyone gives off is so different from what you receive on television, because when you're there live, and club shows are small.
Yes.
So you could I don't care where you're standing, even if you're standing by the bathroom, that's still a really good seat. You're going to hear the thuds. You're going to see the blood, the sweat, the tears. You're going to hear the corner screaming. You're going to hear you're going to hear the mom screaming, cursing. you're going to hear that. And that is what the best part about these things are. But I know that, so we're going to segue because the main card, Kurt Scooby.
Yes.
Kurt Scooby is in the house. I know he's fighting. I mean, we spoke to him earlier. Well, I spoke to him. Fucking A. I have to edit this out. Sorry you didn't hear this. This is really hard. Scooby, are you on? Or is that Hank? I can't see.
That's Hank.
Okay,
That's
Hank. Oh, that's you. Okay, so we're going to have to segue. All right. I'll say this. All right, in the main event, Giandra, I mean, we've already spoken to Arnold. We've spoken to a couple of other fighters. But I want to know what Hammerin Hank Lundy had to say. I haven't heard from him in so long. I haven't seen him. Well, we kind of heard. You know what? Maybe I might grill him about a fight that should have happened, but you grill him about the fight tonight.
Yes, we're going to talk about the fight tonight. If you know Hammerin Hank Lundy, he's no stranger to fight fans with fights against Terrence Crawford, Mauricio Herrera, Thomas Delorme on his resume. He has been in arguably with the world's best pound-for-pound fighters, title challengers, and made his own way, kept up the Philly legacy of tough fights, and that's why we are here today. And at this stage in his career, he is still a sought-after fighter who has proven that he will bring the fight, and he's not coming in to lay down for anybody. And that's what's most exciting about these club shows, that these fighters can come in and upset the apple cart. And if anybody's capable of doing that, it's Hammerin Hank Lundy. So let's bring him in now and see what he had to say about this week. Good. Thanks, Hank. Thanks for joining us tonight. It's a pleasure to have you.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, the pleasure is entirely ours. As I mentioned in the intro, you are a fighter that is known to bring a tough fight every single time you come for the ring. No stranger to fight fans, specifically tough fighters that come from Philly. At this point, what keeps you up? What keeps you coming to the ring and still engaging in these tough fights?
I'm in it for a world title, you know. I have 17 years, you know, of a great career. You know, nothing was given, everything was taken. You know, most of these guys, they got their little story, had a little legacy, you know, family. I built this whole thing myself by fighting and wanted to be great. You know, built myself into a TV fighter. You know, and I'm still here for a world title. That's why I'm in this game, to be world champion. You know, and my journey, I'm still here. Look, now I got a lot left, you know, and Kurt is in trouble.
Well,
he picked the wrong guy.
Well, Hank, I'm going to have to press you because this is what we do as reporters. You were supposed to be fighting Adrian Broner not too long ago, and now we're seeing you on this card, thankfully. But what happened? Can you tell the fans? Because everyone has some Illuminati predictions of God knows what.
Well, I'm gonna keep it real. It was a promoter in L.A. You know, I had suffered a cut, and he didn't think I had a cut, so he had got me suspended with the LA commission. And what happened, it actually put me on suspension from fighting the Broner fight, you know, because the Broner fight, the cut would have been healed and I was ready to go. So what he did, he thought I was just pulling out a fight to fight, you know what I mean, the Broner fight instead of his kid, which it was his son. And that wasn't the case. I had a cut. The guy is a prick. Excuse my language, but you know, that's exactly what he is, you know, and I got suspended and it messed up the fight.
Oh, well, then how did you get this call? Did Larry, or did you reach out to your team and said, I need to get on a card? Because, I mean, sadly, it just looked terrible for boxing overall.
Right. Well, you know, at the end of the day, you know, my manager is always working. And like I told him, I said, whoever it is, you know, we don't run and duck from nobody. If they think they could mess with me with just 11 fights, put them in here. We want all the smoke, all of it.
So tell us what you do know about Kurt Scooby. Like you said, he is an up-and-coming fighter. You are a tough challenger. Do you know anything about him? And if you do, what do you think he does best?
Well, I've seen little clips of here and there. You know, he kind of mimic the little Tyson movement and all that. But, at the end of the day, former football player, I play semi-pro football. You know what I mean? So I ain't worrying about him being 200 pounds coming down to 140. I've been fighting big guys, going against big guys all my life. And I actually do it now because I play semi-pro football. You know what I mean? So it's not about nothing. But this is boxing, and it's different in that ring.
With playing semi-pro football, what position do you play? And within that position, what skills have you taken from boxing, do you think, that have helped you play semi-pro football?
Well, I play safety. I'm actually on the field with my son. My son played corner. My son is all over the field, man. He been blessed with the talent. That guy's he's great. But I'm on the field with my son. He plays corner. I play safety, or sometimes he play free safety. You know what I mean? But with the boxing thing, with the safety thing, I have to cover, both sides of the field. And at the end of the day, you have to be quick on your feet and everything, you know what I mean? And, in the ring, that's what you definitely have to do. You have to have, fast feet, and know your surroundings in that ring. And that's what Hank Lundy do. I know what I'm doing in that ring.
For cardio and for stamina, for football right. And also boxing, a lot of people don't like to run at all. Right. And so to go 12 rounds is a very, very hard feat. And to do football is, it's football. Which do you find harder?
Boxing.
Yeah.
Boxing. I'm going to keep it real boxing. At the end of the day, boxing is a one-man sport. You have your team, but fight night, it's just you in there. Your will, your determination. Football is a team sport, but I really could say, I've been in both, I play with full equipment on, if one guy falls short, the whole team falls short. But in boxing, it's somewhat a team sport, but fight night is all you in there, so I really could say it's boxing.
And lastly, for you coming out as the main event against Kurt Scooby, what do you need to show and tell your fans, or what do you have to prove to show you still belong here? You said it, you've been in it 17 years. Some people might say, dude, just hang it up already. Just continue on being a father, being a football player, and live life. Why keep coming back, and why do you need to show up and show out?
Because at the end of the day, man, I could have been somewhere else. You know what I mean? This was all Allah plan, for me. So at the end of the day, I'm here for a reason. It ain't over yet. It ain't over. And for Kurt, it's going to be hell to pay fight night. Because if you don't know what Hank Lundy brings to the table and what I'm coming to do, I'm coming to fight. I don't think nobody broke down to you what you're getting into. Lou DiBella, no. I remember he put me in there with a Lucia and a Joseph, 31 wins, 1 loss. Yeah. Ask him what happened that night. And the same thing going to happen this night.
Well, we're going to have Lou on with us. We are definitely going to talk about that. We are looking forward to seeing you in a highly competitive matchup. The super lightweight division is ripe, and if there's an opportunity, the opportunity begins here for another title reign. Thank you so much, Hank Lundy, for joining us. Have a terrific fight, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Much love and respect for having me. Appreciate you.
Take care.
Take care.
Thank you.
He's got some fighting words.
He's ready to turn it up and fight and make his presence known. And, you never know what might happen with the super lightweight division. As we see, we've had a new champion crowned, Rolly Romero, and everybody and their mama is calling out Rolly Romero. We've got Ryan Garcia, who's moved up to the weight division. Teofimo, Regis Prograis, just notched a victory recently down in New Orleans. So super lightweight, there's a lot to be had there, and he's looking to have it.
Imagine if Lundy comes back and just...
Wow.
I mean, it was very interesting what he said about Adrian Broner and what happened, because all of a sudden we were expecting that fight when it was announced, and then And there were so many changes with that fight, and then unfortunately it didn't even happen.
Not
Nothing happened.
Shameless plug for us. If you were all enthralled
yeah.
in that whole saga, make sure you visit the Best Women's Boxing Show, period, YouTube channel. And you can watch our interview with Ivan Redcatch, who was the original opponent for Adrian Broner. And then Hank Lundy was selected after him, and then there was no card at all.
Yeah, I remember Ivan saying, I'm going to go support Lundy, and then that fight fell out.
Exactly. But now, if you're waiting for that, we have Hank Lundy tonight at Sony Hall, who will be in the main event against Kurt Scooby of New York City. Philly versus New York. There's a lot of fans who are in close proximity who could come out and support him that night.
This was a fun official pre-show that we got to do for Boxing Insider Fight Night in association with DeBella Entertainment. The interviews that we got to watch, the fans that got to watch, they got to see a little preview of them before they step into the ring tonight. Hank Lundy is looking to make a name again and looking to get back in the ring. Arnold is looking to show up, show out. And you know what? He could be, if he really proves to be a great contender or even a great prospect, welterweight is at it's there. Everyone wants that crown.
That's right. We have two fighters who are hungry and ready at two of the most competitive divisions currently in boxing, super lightweight and welterweight. There is an opportunity to be had here, and tonight is going to be a great night of action at Sony Hall. And how fortunate are we to have a front row seat to all of it, as all of you who are ringside to get to see all these great fights tonight.
So make sure tonight, if you are just tuning in to the end of our official Fight Night pre-show, the live stream will be starting shortly. But I'm gonna just tell you the card. It's five fights, 8 rounds. Arnold Gonzalez versus Alejandro Munera. 4-rounder Raymond Quadrado versus Yuri Andujar. The next one is Terrell the Problem Bostic versus Matthew Lefty Guns Gonzalez. That is the 8-rounder. We think that's going to be the fight of the night.
Yes.
That is the war. And the co-feature bout, Brian Ceballo is back in the ring, taking on Mitch Starchild, Louis Charles, and the main event, an 8-rounder super lightweight bout, Kurt Scooby versus Hammerin Hank Lundy. So, Giandra, this was fun. This was great. Remember, you guys, at Boxing Insider .com. I don't want to say .com because people literally put .com. So it's at Boxing Insider .com on Instagram. Hashtag Boxing Insider Live. I hope you guys had fun with us tonight. Giandra, I had fun with you.
I had a great time. I had fun with you as always, and we're having a great time with you here at Sony Hall. Make sure if you want to keep up with us, make sure you subscribe to the Best Women's Boxing Show, period. YouTube channel where you can see all of our interviews and follow us on social media, and you'll see us back here with BoxingInsider.com for a later fight card. And make sure you use the hashtag BoxingInsider Live.
All right, thank you for tuning in to the official pre-show for Boxing Insider Promotions Fight Night. I am Cynthia Conte.
And I'm Giandra LaBeouf.
Remember to... we have to shamelessly plug Best Women's Boxing Show, period. All right, see you guys at the fights. Bye, guys.
First, or Hubert Mitt, yeah. We got a little bit, we're waiting on the light, so we should have a few minutes. Yes, should be.
are looking live inside Sony Hall here in Midtown Manhattan on a busy summer night, a fight night to be exact, as Boxing Insider presents another edition of Broadway Boxing. Welcome in, everybody. Dan Kenobi alongside New York City trainer Mr. Henry D. Leone. And Henry, I love club boxing. I love New York City because you see prospects, you see ex-champs, you see contenders all on display tonight. It all culminates with our main event, Hammerin Hank Lundy. You know that name. He fought Terrence Crawford and many others going up against Kurt, Scooby. Henry, what can you tell us about this main event tonight?
Listen, it's an exciting fight. Honestly, we have Hank Lundy, who's a veteran of the sport. Like you said, he's faced many opposition. This guy's a notable name. Kurt Scooby, he's an upcoming prospect, 11-0 with 9 knockouts coming out of a tremendous win back in February on Showtime. It's going to be an exciting fight. Kurt Scooby, strong, he's an athlete, former football player, he's been boxing since 10 years old. This guy here is determined to make a statement tonight with putting a name on his resume of like Hank Lundy. Yeah,
Scooby 11-0 with 9 knockouts. Pretty stoic type of guy. I know you talked to him yesterday at the weigh-ins. Says, I'm an athlete. I'm not a boxer, I'm an athlete. Go play golf tomorrow if I wanted to. I know he wants to get a name like Hank Lundy on his resume, whether he wants to admit it or not. What would a win for Hank Lundy mean? 39 years old, been there and back. A name like Lundy getting a name like Scooby on his resume is also big for him too, right?
Absolutely. I mean, like, for someone like Hank Lundy, who's many would say is at the end of his career right now, for him to be an up-and-coming prospect like Kurt Scooby would be huge for him. It would put his name back in the mix, hopefully back in the world title mix with these other top elite fighters at the weight division. And
then in our co-main event, Brian Ceballo. If you're a New York City fight fan, you know that name. One of the most decorated amateurs New York has ever seen, going up against Mitch Luis Charles. Tell us about Brian Ceballo. I know you know this guy.
Listen, Brian Ceballo is probably the most decorated amateur fighter ever come out of New York City. He's 5-time Golden Glove champion, national champion. This guy's pedigree as an amateur is remarkable. And for him to come out here again, second time at Sony Hall here to put on a show here in his hometown, New York City, it's going to be amazing.
5 fights in total, so settle in at home. Let's have some fun and throw it up to the ring for our first fight of the night.
Good shit, man.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sony Hall, and welcome to Fight Night. Fight Night is brought to you, ladies and gentlemen, exclusively by Boxing Insider. It takes place under the supervision and sanctioning of the New York State Athletic Commission. At this time, before we begin with the boxing action, ladies and gentlemen, I ask that you all please rise and remain standing and silent. We open this evening with a 10-bell salute to a great official and teacher, the chairman of WBC ring officials, Hubert Min. Mr. Min was not only a great teacher and official, but a very generous and knowledgeable individual, always willing to help out and pass his knowledge on to those who dared to learn and be as great as he was at his job. I ask that you all please remain silent as we toll the bell 10 times. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please also remain standing at this time as we call to the microphone American Idol finalist Gianna Isabella to sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and love of the
All right,
Ladies and gentlemen,
Go
American
time.
Idol finalist Gianna Isabella.
One hell of a
National
Star-Spangled
anthem, yeah, of
Banner.
course.
Wow. American Idol indeed.
For sure.
Getting ready for our first fight of the night. We're going to bring in Raymond Quadrado and Yuri Andujar. Lightweights. First fight of the night, first of 5. All things culminating with our main event, Kurt Scooby, New York City's own, going up against Philadelphia's Hammerin Hank Lundy.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know you're ready. The work has been put in. The tempers have flared. We have reached our moment. Boxing Insider's Fight Night begins right now with our opening contest. It takes place in the 132-pound division inside of 4 rounds. Making his way to the blue corner at this time, here's Yuri Andujar.
Yuri Andujar making the 12th ring walk of his career. A 500 record, 5-5-1. With 3 of those wins, Henry, have come by knockout. I'm not a mathematician, but that's more than half. That's good.
That is. And I spoke to him yesterday. And even though his English is very limited, he definitely let me know that he has over 80 amateur bouts. So it's fair to say that he does have some experience.
And making his way to the red corner at this time, here is Ray Quadrado.
All right, it's very clear who is the hometown fighter here. You're hearing that cheer from the crowd. It's for Raymond Quadrado, fighting by nearby Ridgewood, New York. A perfect record of 7-0 with 3 knockouts. Tall, rangy. Let's take a look at our tail of the tape, brought to you by Boxing Insider. Both fighters making the weight limit there, 130 pounds. Very similar.
Very similar in stats, for sure.
The only thing that isn't similar is the records, but as you said, Yuri Andujar has an extensive amateur career. Raymond Quadrado is a perfect 7-0. Let's throw it up to our ring announcer, Matt Capitello. Get this one started.
Ladies and gentlemen, our opening contest here at Fight Night, brought to you by Boxing Insider, takes place inside of 4 rounds in the lightweight division. Jamel Anderson is the referee in charge of the action. John Basile, Anthony Lundy, and James Pierce are our ringside judges. Introducing first, boxing out of the blue corner, de la República Dominicana, from the Dominican Republic, el 5 pies alto pulgadas de alto y pesando 131.4 libras. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing in at 131.4 pounds, con un récord, 5 victorias, 5 derrotas y un empato. With a record of 5-5-1, te presento Yuri Andujar. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent, boxing out of the red corner, from Ridgewood, Queens, New York, standing 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing in at 130.8 pounds. Entering this bout with a record of 7-0, 3 out of 7 victories by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, Ray the Scientist Quadrado. We go to referee Jamel Antoine for the instructions for both competitors.
Gentlemen, we've been over the rules in the dressing room. I want a good, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Touch him up.
First fight of the night, 130-pound limit here. Ray Quadrado in the purple trunks. Yuri Andujar in the black trunks. Here we go. Both fighters coming out in orthodox stance, Henry.
Ray Quadrado's already looking to start at a quick pace.
He comes out firing some body shots and firing off pretty much every punch in the book so far, which you want to see in that first round, right? No feeling out here.
Seems like he's going right to the goal.
Quadrado firing off that jab like a piston. You gotta love that from a fighter, right? I know you tell your fighters everything starts with the jab.
Absolutely. That jab is more than just a tool to hit. It's a tool to measure your distance and create openings.
Andujar shakes it off, but you know that means that he felt a few of those shots.
Ray Quadrado so far doing a good job controlling the pace with that jab. Ooh.
Oh, good counter shot there from Andujar. Caught the attention of Quadrado. Quadrado visibly grimacing as he goes back to the center of the ring.
Ooh, good left hook.
I told you, man, this is why I love club shows. There's a lot to prove for these prospects. There's a lot to prove for a guy like Yuri Andujar. First round, and there's no feeling out process. There's no kind of fencing. We're just coming in throwing leather.
Ray Quadrado quickly switched it to a southpaw stance.
Switches to the southpaw stance, and he fired off a left hook that was looking like prime Terrence Crawford switch hitting. Going to see him in the ring at the end of July against Errol Spence.
Yeah, Quadrado's looking very sharp tonight.
Quadrado doing a really good job of also, like we just said, leading with the jab, but also being a counter puncher as well. And Henry, how difficult is that for someone like Andujar? You just don't know what's coming. Are you going to fire off a jab? You're going to be a counter puncher?
It's definitely very hard because it kind of paralyzes you a bit because it makes you hesitant to throw. Every time you throw, Quadrado's ready to counter and look out and counter back. So therefore, it makes Yuri a bit hesitant to let those hands go.
Nice right there.
Good uppercut.
You see, Andujar, I think he's losing the round, but he's putting up some, nice left. Both fighters throwing serious leather here in round number 1 with 30 seconds to go. Fans are loving it here. Listen, get to your seat early when you come to a Broadway Boxing, brought to you by Boxing Insider, because you don't know what you're going to miss.
And that's how you can tell that sometimes records are a bit deceiving. Yuri Andujar obviously doesn't have the most impressive record, but you can tell that he's game. Ooh,
whoa, right hand from Andujar catches Quadrado coming in. A very good round.
Very
one
good
there.
round.
Round 1 of many tonight. Henry, I always say I never want to be a judge. I never want to get to the mind of a judge, but I'm going to make you be a judge tonight as we take a look at some of the replays from a really good first round. How would you score that first round?
I definitely would score it for Quadrado. I think he was very dominant with that jab early in the round. And then as the round was closing in, he was landing some beautiful combinations. Though Yuri had some good moments, Quadrado definitely outdid him.
I agree with you. Quadrado was the aggressor. He was in the center of the ring where he did his best work. I thought his most trying moments were when he was kind of switching his stances or he was kind of staying in the pocket a little too long, and that's when Andujar was able to land some shots of his own. A 10-9 round for Quadrado, but not like a blowout by any means. Round 2 underway here from Sony Hall. Dan Canobio and Henry. Oh, nice shot. De Leon. I was about to call you Henry Cejudo. UFC. Henry De Leon, noted New York City trainer. He's got a close eye on this fight right now. And we're seeing Quadrado retreat a little bit, Henry.
Yeah, I've seen Quadrado coming up from the amateurs, and he was a pretty good fighter in the amateurs and very dominant here tonight.
I'm going to say Andujar was the one that was retreating. He was moving back. He's taking steps back in this round, and it's Quadrado who's moving forward.
There he goes again, switching back to southpaw, back to orthodox.
Do you like when fighters do that?
You know, I think tactically it's not a bad idea, as long as the fighter is familiar with fighting in each stance. Oh, beautiful.
Beautiful right hand from Quadrado. Punch of the night.
Oh, my God, another one.
That right hand can't miss from Quadrado. If you're Yuri Andujar, what do you got to do here to get out of the way of that right hand?
I think you got to throw that jab a little bit more and honestly feint a little bit more. Don't just stand in front of him. Move your head away from the center a bit.
Just about halfway through round 2. We're only scheduled for 4. 4-round fight, you got to come out firing.
Well, absolutely, especially for a 4-round fight. You only have a limited time to impress the judges.
Quadrado doing a really good job fighting, coming forward and backwards.
Oh, my God, what a beautiful combination.
Beautiful. He's countering. He's going to the body.
The stance switching is working really well for Quadrado. Nice. But you got to give Yuri credit. Despite him getting hit, the guy refuses to go back.
Not only that, he's standing and trading, too. He's not covering up. He's not holding. I mean, should he hold?
I mean, I always think it's tactically it's a smart thing to do, especially when you get caught with a good shot. Ooh, there you go, coming right back into it.
The thing with Andujar, he's got cut. He might have got cut by the...
Might have got an elbow with that little wrestling match they had there just there.
Andujar is cut. I'm going to keep an eye on that in the corners in between rounds. Andujar is very, very tough. Still coming forward despite the cut. Still coming forward despite being outlanded in this fight so far.
It's not a club show without some blood now, is it?
It's not a club show unless I go to the dry cleaner tomorrow and I have to explain to him, hey, you got to get more blood out of my shirt.
It's a great round for Ray Quadrado.
Another good round for Quadrado, a 10-9 round. I saw you just write it down. So Andujar's got his work cut out for him. If you were in the quarter of Andujar, what would you be telling him?
I would tell him to try and move around a little bit. Like, he's standing in front of Ray Quadrado and not necessarily doing anything. Like, if you're going to stand in front of him, either move your head, feint a little bit to create openings, or box a little bit, you know? Don't just stand in front of him and be a sitting punching bag for someone like Ray Quadrado, who's very accurate.
Quadrado's corner, they're working, Andujar's corner, they're working on that cut. He's down 2 rounds to nothing. Take a look at some of the highlights here from a very explosive round 2. Raymond Quadrado landing that right hand, couldn't miss, Henry.
There he goes, switch with the stance. Beautiful.
Nice. We got our DJ playing show tunes here. And that's another reason I love New York City shows. You never know what you're going to hear from the DJ.
Round 3, here we go.
Round 3 of 4. Raymond Quadrado in the purple trunks. Yuri Andujar in the all black. It's been all Quadrado so far over the first 6 minutes. Landing at will, but don't get it twisted. Yuri Andujar is very tough, very game. He's willing to come forward and trade for our entertainment, and I always respect that.
Maybe that blood lit a little fire under him and gave him a sense of urgency.
You hear that a lot from fighters. Once they see blood, it's like seeing blood in the water. They wake up a little bit and they start seeing, like you said, a little bit of urgency.
But the same could go for Ray Quadrado. He sees his opponent bleeding, and that could also motivate him to apply a little bit more pressure.
And that's really starting to leak out of his nose. Blood flying all over here at ringside. I like what Quadrado's doing this round, Henry. He's, I wouldn't say he's letting his foot off the gas, but he's boxing now. He's got 2 rounds on him, and he knows that he can kind of pick shots, and he's doing a good job of it.
I mean, his game plan has been working since round 1. Like, why do anything different if you've been pretty dominant with how you started the fight?
The thing with Andujar is he's so tough and he's so pesky. Just when you think he might take a knee, just when you think he might go down, he comes with a right hand right there and goes down to the body.
And you got to give him his credit. He definitely did not come here to lay down and pick up a paycheck. Ooh, beautiful combination.
It's Quadrado who holds for the first time in the fight. Under a minute to go here in round number 3. It's a 4-rounder, our first fight of the night. Like I said earlier, Raymond Quadrado on our unofficial scorecard won the first 2 rounds. He's choosing to fight this round, I should say, a little bit more from distance.
Beautiful left hook right there by Ray Quadrado.
As I say that, they stand and trade the inside.
I mean, Yuri is game tonight. He is not backing up.
This is a outstanding fight to start us off tonight. Andujar coming on late. Here comes Quadrado. Great stuff here at Sony Hall.
You know, Dan, for up-and-coming prospects, I think this is exactly what you want to see them up against, because it's matches like this that really challenge them to really test the prospect to see where they're at and how far they can possibly go.
Yeah, it's something that sadly it's gone away. These club shows, these grassroots shows, and that's why I'm so happy the Boxing Insider teamed up with Lou DiBella and Broadway Boxing to bring them back, because we're getting to see great talent here in New York. And Raymond Quadrado, and a guy like Yuri Andujar, who obviously I think is losing the fight, down 3 rounds to nothing on our unofficial scorecard, but putting forth a great effort where, hey, I want to see Yuri Andujar fight again.
Absolutely. I mean, that man has not taken a back step at all. Fourth and final round.
Here we go. Final 3 minutes of the fight. Raymond Quadrado in the purple trunks, Yuri Andujar in the black trunks. It's been Quadrado on our scorecards leading the way with great boxing on the inside and outside. Andujar finding his moments as well.
Yeah, Andujar is just putting it all on the line now.
Right next to Quadrado's corner. They're telling him to punch out, punch out. What exactly does that mean?
Basically just try to keep the guy away at a distance by throwing shots. You know, don't just back away from him by moving, but throw a shot as you're moving away.
First 2 rounds, Quadrado was looking
right
to
hand.
brawl.
Right on command, too.
Right hand. First 2 rounds, Quadrado was brawling, but the last 2 rounds, I feel like he's become a boxer puncher, which is it's nice to see the variance in his offense.
Absolutely, but I think that has to do with Yuri's pressure. As the rounds went on, he's obviously becoming a bit more desperate and therefore risking it all to come inside and therefore forcing Quadrado to fight a bit more stationary.
Now they own out sharpshooter. Famous Bret Hart finishing move. Are we going to see that to end this fight? I'll tell you what, Yuri Andujar is so tough. He is bleeding profusely from the nose. About midway through, what, the third round or end of the second?
Second round, I believe it was.
But he is just coming forward. Yuri Andujar
catches Ray Quadrado right there with a beautiful left hand.
Coming out of San Cristobal, DR. I hope he gets familiar with New York City because we're going to want to see him back here in the Boxing Insider ring. Fans here on their feet. Getting a great fight for fight number 1 of 5 tonight. Raymond Quadrado and Yuri Andujar as we close out a really good 4-round fight. I wouldn't mind seeing 8 rounds of this.
No, seriously.
10 rounds of this.
What a fight.
Final bell. Good back and forth action to start us off tonight here at Boxing Insider, Broadway Boxing. Raymond Quadrado and Yuri Andujar go the distance.
After what you saw here tonight, Dan, how do you feel about this prospect, Ray Quadrado?
I think it's really good, man. I like the switching of stances at first. I thought, wow, that's pretty aggressive move for a guy with under 10 fights, but it worked for him. I liked his offense. He was switching up from being a jab guy and to start off the rounds to brawling, which he showed off a lot of his offense despite just 4 rounds, which is really impressive. Take a look at some of the replays here, Henry.
There was definitely a lot of nice back and forth action in this fight. Listen, I got Ray Quadrado winning on my scorecard, but like you said, I would not mind watching Yuri Andujar fight again.
I'm going to head up into the ring, and I'm going to talk to the winner. It's all you, Henry. It's all you, my friend.
Amazing. This was definitely a dominant performance by Ray Quadrado. I was really impressed with what I saw. I was also impressed with Yuri Andujar. Again, records can be deceiving. Obviously, you can tell that this young fighter has experience, and he came here to show and try to pull off an upset. Here we go to Matt Compitello with the announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, per the judges' scorecards, John Basile, Anthony Lundy, and James Pierce all scored the contest 40-36 for your winner. By way of unanimous decision, Ray the Scientist Quadrado.
Great performance tonight by the Scientists.
All right, we're here with the winner, hometown guy here, Raymond Quadrado. What a performance. You switched stances, you showed off all your offense, jab. You checking yourself out in the camera there. Do you look good?
Always.
You got a message for your fans here. A lot of your fans in attendance, how would you rate your performance?
Oh man, I just want to say thank you to everybody coming out. Happy to meet all new faces here as well. It's been a while since I fought in New York again, and I'm glad to do it here in my hometown. Thank you to Boxing Insider and my team, Vinny and Mo, for blessing me with this opportunity to perform on this stage. So thank you, Larry.
How would you rate that performance? I thought you did pretty well. I thought you switched stances. I thought your jab came out brawling. You showed off some good boxing. So take us through it.
The goal for today was come out safely first and foremost, practice everything that we've done with my team. I'm just happy that me and my opponent both came out safely, and no scratches on me, so I'm ready to go back in the ring next week if I need to.
Raymond Quadrado, everybody going back to Ridgewood, Queens as the winner.
Ray Quadrado, a young prospect from here, from New York City, making a statement with a 4-round unanimous decision over Yuri Andujar.
What's up, y'all? It's Andy Dominguez. August 10th, I'll be making my return back in the ring at the Sony Hall under Boxing Insider's event. And I hope to see you guys out there. I can't wait to put a great show.
Second fight of the night. No, we're not wasting any time here. Junior middleweights, Arnold Gonzalez. We're not wasting any time here. We're ready for our second fight of the night. Junior middleweights, Arnold Gonzalez, Alejandro Munera. Let's bring him into the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next contest here at Boxing Insider Fight Night takes place in the junior middleweight division inside of 6 rounds. Georgie Gergov, James Pierce, and Marcel Varela are our ringside judges. Jay Salzman is the referee in charge of the action. Our first competitor makes his way to the blue corner at this time. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Alejandro Munera.
Here comes Alejandro Munera, Medellin, Colombia. So we've seen San Cristobal, Dominican Republic represented tonight with Yuri Andujar. And with Alejandro Munera, we got Colombia.
Alejandro Munera was actually a last-minute replacement.
Here, just touched down in New York City, baby. Getting ready for June 29. Shout out to Boxing Insider. We're ready to put on a show. Feeling good. I could do this with no effort all day long.
Without further ado, here is Arnold Gonzalez.
All right, Arnold Gonzalez has slightly beat out Raymond Quadrado for most fans in attendance tonight. Fighting out of New York. He's 11-0 with 6 knockouts. The guy can cut a promo, too. Tail of the tape for this junior middleweight matchup. Arnold Gonzalez, the hometown man, sitting at 5'7". Both fighters weighing in underneath the junior weight limit of 154 pounds. The reach advantage goes to Alejandro Munera. And also the experience goes to Alejandro Munera, but a perfect 11-0 record for Gonzalez. Let's throw up to Matt Campitello to get this fight started.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following junior middleweight contest takes place inside of 6 rounds. Introducing first, boxing out of the blue corner, de Medellin, Colombia. From Medellin, Colombia, el 5'17" pulgadas de alto y pesando 146.2 libras. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighing in at 146.2 pounds, con un récord, 8 victorias, 7 derrotas, 4 empatos, with a record of 8-7-4. 7 victorias via nocaut, 7 of 8 victories by way of knockout. Te presento el salvaje Alejandro Munera. And his opponent, boxing out of the red corner, from Harlem, New York, y representando Ecuador, el 5'7" pulgadas de alto y pesando 150.6 libras, standing 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighing at 150.6 pounds, con un récord 11 victorias, 0 derrotas, with a record of 11-0. 6 victorias via nocaut, 6 11 victories by way of knockout. Te presento Arnold A.G. Gonzalez. We now have referee Jay Salzman for the instructions for both competitors.
Alejandro and Arnold. You know the rules in New York State boxing condition before the bout. Always respect the rules, fight your best, and protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves, it's good work.
6 rounds in the junior middleweight division. Arnold Gonzalez, the hometown guy, a lot of fans here. Big smile. Will he come through with a knockout? Going up against Alejandro Munera, who took this fight on short notice. We're underway.
These last-minute opponents are always dangerous because you never really know what to expect. You spend so much time preparing for one specific person, and then to suddenly get a last-minute change like that?
That would give me heavy anxiety. I'm a creature of habit. Munera, this is his 20th fight. This is an interesting record. You don't see this too often. 8-7-4. 4 draws. Fighting out of Colombia.
When I was talking to Munera yesterday, he mentioned that he also fought in MMA.
He looks like an MMA fighter. I mean, I don't like to judge a book by its cover. He's tatted up. He looks like he spent some time in a cage, and he has spent some time in a cage. Let's talk about Arnold Gonzalez. He's a fighter with great promise, undefeated, fighting here out of New York City. Brings a lot of fans with him. What makes him great, Henry?
Listen, that kid has also an amateur pedigree. He was a 2015 Golden Glove champion, finalist, national champion, and this kid, you know, he's the real deal. He's got quite some power, and obviously, as you can hear, he has the following.
I'll tell you what, I love hometown fights. I don't know if the fighters like them, but I love a nice, raucous New York City crowd getting behind their guy, and that's Arnold Gonzalez as he opens up a little bit, touching the torso of Munera early on, about halfway through round number 1.
As you can see, that this round is a little bit more different than the last fight. This is more of a feel-out round for both of these guys. Slightly slower pace. Good body shot by Arnold.
Arnold comes through there, touching the body early. Seems to be Gonzalez's game plan. In our first fight of the night, which was a banger, Quadrado and Yuri Andujar, probably fight of the night so far. There's only been one fight, so we're going to give them fight of the night. This is your feeling out round. This is your prototypical, let's get a feel for it. As a trainer, which do you like to see your fighter come out and do?
I think for these circumstances that Arnold has as a last-minute opponent change, I think this is good. You want to see what your opponent has in store, what he does well, what he doesn't do well, so that way you can develop a game plan as the fight progresses. Munera told me yesterday that he was going to try to use his reach as his advantage against someone who's smaller than him, like Arnold. But he's not using the jab enough to try to maintain that reach.
Good round there, changing at the end of round number 1.
What a way to close out the round.
Gonzalez started slow, but he ended fast. Round number 1. Appreciate everyone that is watching with us right now on the Boxing Insider YouTube page. I see you, Thunder Road. I see you, Cynthia Conti. Did a great job on the pre-fight show. If you are watching, let me know where you are tuning in from in the comment section. I will shout you out. We're here at Sony Hall in Midtown, New York on a hot summer night. Just saw a great fight in the lightweight division starting us off. Our Wayman Quadrado and Yuri Andujar. Now we see Arnold Gonzalez with a slow start, but a good ending.
It was a very good ending by Arnold Gonzalez. And again, like Alejandro needs to use that jab, that length, a little bit more if he wants to keep the shorter fighter away from him. Arnold Gonzalez is doing a great job in closing in the distance. And that's mainly because Alejandro's not busy enough.
Round 2 underway. We're scheduled for 6. Arnold Gonzalez in the white trunks. Alejandro Munera, who took this fight on short notice, in the black trunks. Henry brought up that MMA background. I saw a little of that in the first round. A little stiff, a little straight up. And you got to feel like Gonzalez is looking for some openings here as the rounds go on.
Munera comes out throwing a little more punches this round.
Julian is watching from Vancouver. We got people watching from Vegas, Harlem, Clovis, California, St. Louis, Missouri. We're worldwide, Henry.
That's amazing. The beautiful thing about internet, eh?
Thank you to everyone that is watching with us free on the Boxing Insider YouTube page. Gonzalez is really dedicating a lot of body work. I love that.
Arnold missed a tremendous overhand right there. Had he landed that, probably would have been a game changer.
I'm trying to figure out who Munera looks like. He looks like he's an MMA fighter. It's going to come to me at some point, but he's firing off a jab here, and he's looking to get back into this fight because I thought he lost round 1, and you had Gonzalez winning round 1.
Absolutely. I thought Arnold did enough to pull that round off. He was a little bit busier. He closed the distance beautifully. Just like that. Beautiful body shot.
I wonder if Gonzalez was preparing for a shorter fighter because Munera clearly has the height advantage in this fight.
There's definitely a huge height difference here. But Arnold's handling it very well. It doesn't seem to possess any sort of trouble for him right now.
Gonzalez starting to open up his offense a little bit. Being selective, that's smart. It's a 6-round fight. It's not a 4-round fight.
Beautiful overhand right.
Right
by
on
Gonzalez.
the money. Perfect counter right from Gonzalez. Gonzalez's corner imploring his guy to push Munera back. Doesn't fight well off his back foot.
Based on what we've seen so far, I would say they are right.
Munera's starting to get off there out of the clinch. You're a shorter fighter, Henry. You're going up against a tall guy here in Munera. What's the game plan? I've seen shorter fighters try to jab their way in, double jab in. How do you get inside on the tall fighter?
I think one of the best ways that a short fighter can get inside is by head movement, feinting, giving them an illusion that a target is somewhere and then making them miss and then using that opportunity that they missed to close the distance.
Arnold Gonzalez doing another good job of ending the round strong. A great flurry at the end of round number 2. Take a look at some of the replays from round 2. As you see, Gonzalez shelling up, but finding his way inside and able to fire off some combinations.
Beautiful overhand right. But it goes back to our last fight, Dan. Like Andujar, he came in here, despite being the opponent, he came in here and showcased valiant effort to try to win. Munera is another one here that's trying to put some effort into actually trying to win a fight. He's not here just to lay down.
He's not here to lay down. We can see him fire off some more shots here. I think Gonzalez is winning the fight, but he's not throwing a lot of punches. There are opportunities for Munera to fire off that jab as the taller opponent. Easier said than done as I'm sitting here in a suit. But I would like to see that from Munera if he wants to win this fight.
There he goes. I think he heard you.
Round 3, Arnold Gonzalez in the white and gold trunks. Alejandro Munera in the black trunks. Dan Canovio, Henry De Leon on the call.
Wow, what a right hand by Munera.
Munera's starting to find the range. You've seen this fight. I ask you now about a short fighter fighting a tall fighter. How about a long, rangy fighter? Too many times I'm watching boxing, I see a guy with a clear reach advantage not using it. It looks like Munera is using it here.
Well, I think it's a little trickier with Munera. For instance, he's a little flat-footed. Though he is long, he is the taller fighter, and therefore should be using the reach. He wants to also generate power, so he doesn't want to move around too much. He kind of wants to keep Arnold right at the end of his range. Good combination by Arnold.
Gonzalez is very poised, very selective, using that shoulder roll defense. He's letting Munera get off a little bit, but none of those shots are really connecting from Munera.
Oh, another right hand lands by Munera. I think Arnold has to respond with something back because Munera's starting to seem like he's getting a little more comfortable in there, a little more confident.
Yeah, I'd like to see Gonzalez be a little busier.
Yeah, Munera came out this round doing a lot better with that jab. He's managed to create some openings for that right hand. Keeping Arnold right at bay.
Big shot there from Gonzalez, finds the mark. He hammers down to the body.
Nice little hook by Munera. Another overhand right by Gonzalez. Wow, nice, beautiful left hook.
Hey, but listen, we wanted Gonzalez to open it up more, and he's doing that. As we gets the close of round 3. His corner wants him to let his hands go. Another round ends with Arnold Gonzalez opening up. Alejandro Munera. 3 rounds to nothing on your unofficial scorecard, right, Henry?
Well, I don't know. I'd say that round was a little bit closer only because Arnold didn't let his hands go early in the round. He closed out the round very well, and that's probably what stays fresh in the judges' minds. But before that, I felt that Munera was a little bit more dominant earlier in the round.
We're entering round 4 here. We're scheduled for 6. Sony Hall back to the gills. You love to see it. Boxing back in New York City. Boxing Insider bringing us free boxing and a fight night here in New York City. Old school. You see people eating dinner, hoops, drinking. It's a great atmosphere here. The disco ball. You ever fight under a disco ball, Henry?
Never under a disco ball, no.
Round 4 underway. Arnold Gonzalez, white trunks. Alejandro Munera, black trunks. We got Gonzalez up 3 rounds to nothing on our unofficial scorecard. Munera had a really good round 3, his best of the fight. See if we can use that momentum here in round 4. The corner of Gonzalez is really imploring Munera to walk him down, but that's not something we've seen so far. You're a trainer.
Yeah.
When you're shouting out instructions and you don't see your fighter doing that, you get frustrated as a trainer?
I mean, you can't get frustrated, but it's also important to understand that perhaps the fighters see something in there that we don't. It's very easy for us on the outside to be like, apply pressure, but for all we know, he got caught with the right hands in the last round. He probably understands that Munera has some power, and therefore he just, is a bit more cautious about that.
I do think he's winning the fight. I do think he's winning these rounds. He is starting to pick up the volume a little bit here. That we're talking about Gonzalez.
Good right hand by Gonzalez. Beautiful. Right on cue.
What you saw there was Munera come in with that kind of a lazy jab left hook, and Gonzalez timed it perfectly with a right hand over the top, and he comes back with a check left hook. Gonzalez really starting to find his rhythm here.
Yeah, this is a better round for him than the last one. A lot busier. Whatever confidence Munera had in that last round, he's definitely taken it. Gonzalez is definitely taking it from him today, in this round.
Yeah, I agree. Holding his stance in the center of the ring. Holding his position. That is Gonzalez holding his ground. I got it in the 3rd try. Holding his ground. That's what I was looking for. That's Gonzalez.
With that right hand again by Munera.
30 seconds here in round number 4. Arnold Gonzalez with a pretty good round here. Letting his hands fly a little more. Munera still game, still tough. Especially considering he's taking this fight on short notice. You got to wonder where his gas tank's at. You got to wonder if he was in the gym. He is in shape. But it's two different shapes, right? Fight shape and just regular shape.
Absolutely.
I'm in zero shape. Will Gonzalez end this round with a flurry? He's ended every round with one. Nice right hand. And another one.
To the belly. Arnold's having some success with that right hand. I would like to see him set it up a little bit more with that jab.
Take a look at some of the work here in round 4. A good round there is the best punch of the round. Great job by our truck production staff doing a wonderful job there as Gonzalez landed that beautiful counter right.
This is a great venue for fights. No matter where you stand, where you sit, you have perfect view of the ring.
It's very intimate here. It's a small ring. It's a small room. I grew up coming to club shows, man. Broadway Boxing was my thing. Lou DiBella. Started in 2001. I saw so many future champions, so many legends. I remember I came to a Broadway Boxing once, and it was a snowy February afternoon, and Adriana Lima
Oh, wow.
Model, superstar. Just walked right in.
That's fascinating.
I was with one of my boys, and I was like, dude, that's Adriana Lima. So you never know who's going to walk into a Broadway Boxing right here in the heart of New York City. Round 5 of 6. Dan Canobbio.
Beautiful right hand.
De Leon on the call as Gonzalez lands a beautiful right. Munera came out of this round showing off that jab. I'd like to see more of that jab from Munera. He's got the height advantage. He's got the reach advantage.
I would really like to see Arnold setting up that overhand right with that jab a little bit more. He should be changing levels up and down to set that overhand right. It's working perfectly for him. He just has to kind of give it a different look. Here's a quick fun fact about Arnold Gonzalez. The way he met Larry Goldberg, the promoter of Boxing Insider, was through a sparring match.
What's that?
Arnold Gonzalez met Larry Goldberg through a sparring match.
Oh, elaborate, please.
They both sparred each other.
Larry Goldberg sparred Arnold Gonzalez.
Absolutely.
Wow.
At the Mendez Boxing Gym.
Listen, I know Larry Goldberg, he's done everything. I've seen that guy in almost every boxing arena. I did not know that he's actually stepped foot in the ring.
He has.
Hey, we want to see Larry get in the ring after and challenge the winner of this fight. What do you think?
I think that's fair.
I've never seen Lou DiBella get in the ring. I see him here. I see Lou. He's over there chatting someone's ear off. Hall of Famer Lou DiBella. A lot of these rounds are looking a lot the same for Arnold Gonzalez. He's winning the rounds slow and steady, wins the race for Gonzalez. He's got that counter right. He is starting to walk back Munera.
He's definitely slowed down. I feel like he's throwing just enough punches to stay on right ahead on the scorecards.
You know what I mean? It's not like if you take a look at the punch volume, if it was on a graph, I think it would be pretty steady. Around 45, 50 punches to the naked eye. Nothing wrong with that. I can win your fights.
Absolutely not. Listen, if it's working for you, great, you know? You can see Munera starting to breathe out of his mouth.
Gives him a little shove there at the end. Yeah, Munera's a little gassed. I'll give him that. He's heading into the 6th round. Took the fight on short notice. We're going to head to the 6th and final round. You're watching Broadway Boxing, brought to you by Boxing Insider.
Valiant effort by Munera, despite it being a 1-week notice fight. Gonzalez should invest a little bit more to the body as he sets up that overhand right, I believe.
So you look at the chat. Chris A says Munera not just here for a paycheck. Agree with that. Manchu Green said legs almost gone. This is the 6th round. Yes, Manchu Green, this is the 6th round fight. We'll see if Gonzalez will step on the gas pedal here in the 6th round, or will he coast to what should be a unanimous decision victory.
Arnold's trainer, Julien Chua, asking Arnold for a strong finish.
6th and final round here from Sony Hall. Arnold Gonzalez in the white and yellow trunks. Alejandro Munera in the black trunks. Munera comes out aggressive in round 6. Still coming your way, our main event of the night. Kurt Scooby taking on Hammerin Hank Lundy. Lundy has shared the ring with Ray Beltran, Terrence Crawford, Victor Postal. a long, extensive career. Kurt Scooby, 11-0 as Munera tags Gonzalez with a right hand. But that's our main event. Still coming up. We're watching a good one here. Hometown kid Arnold Gonzalez going for a shutout win.
I would like to see a little bit more effort from Arnold to try to close out the show.
A right, a left. Another right hand. The crowd is coming to a boil. They sense the finish here.
I think he might have heard me, Dan.
Just got him hurt. The legs are gone. He entered the round with tired legs. Munera. Gonzalez is sensing it. He's sensing blood in the water here. He's going to go for the knockout with a minute left. Corner of Gonzalez imploring him, what are you waiting for? A minute left, step on the gas. The corner's screaming. They want to see a knockout. They want this place to erupt. Corner screaming, let it go, and he's not talking about the movie Frozen.
20 seconds left. Round number 6.
Munera very tough, very game. She's going to see that final bell. On short notice, that's all you can ask for. Not going to come out victorious, but he did see the final bell. Gonzalez stepped on the gas over the final 2 rounds.
Great fight, great fight.
Good fight. Good solid rounds for Gonzalez, who needs them in his career. He's going to move to 12-0.
Absolutely. Again, opponents like Munera for prospects like Arnold Gonzalez, I think it's necessary because it shows you where you're at. You know,
a measuring stick.
Basically, you don't want to go in there with a guy that you can easily knock out and then, okay, you move on to the next one because you don't really learn much from that. You want someone that's going to challenge you and test you.
Judges tabulating their scorecards. I would be shocked if this wasn't a unanimous decision. Arnold Gonzalez should move to 12-0. Munera, very game. Coming out all the way from Medellin, Colombia. Stick with us, folks. Our main event is upcoming. Kurt Scooby, 11-0 with 9 knockouts. Just signed with DeBella Entertainment. He's taking on Hammerin Hank Lundy. We got Brian Ceballo in action. We have an all New York matchup coming up next between Terrell Bostic and Matthew Gonzalez. Appreciate everyone that is in the chat watching for free the Boxing Insider YouTube page. I'm going to run into the ring. I'm going to figure out who's going to win this fight. I'm going to interview that person. It's probably going to be Arnold Gonzalez.
When I spoke to Arnold yesterday, before the weigh-ins, he had predicted that he was going to stop Munera in the 4th round. Unfortunately, it didn't seem to play out that way for him, but I think he benefited more from going the distance with someone like Munera.
Ladies and gentlemen, going to our ringside judges. Georgie Gergov scores the bout 59-55. James Pierce and Marcel Varela score it 60-54 in favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision. Out of the red corner, Arnold A.G. Gonzalez.
So unanimous decision win for Arnold Gonzalez. Here's Arnold taking a photo with his fans who came out to support him tonight.
Arnold, what a win. Tell your hometown fans. Take us through the performance. What was working for you tonight?
I mean, first of all, thank you to everyone who came out tonight. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. This is my dream, and you guys are helping me live my dream. So that means a lot to everyone who came out tonight and are supporting me. I think it was a good 6 rounds. He was tough. He could take a punch. I think I hit him with some clean shots. I've been out the ring since December, so it was good to shake off the rust. And I'm excited to come back and just be sharper the next time I come out.
6 solid rounds. What do you want to do when you want to get back in the ring and give your fans another show?
Yeah, I'm going to sit down with Larry and see what's available. And shout out to Larry for putting on a great event. Not only is it's a great event, New York City is one of the toughest markets to put on events like this, and especially in Times Square. So big shout out to Larry. That takes a lot of coordinating and a lot of patience and a lot of cold brews, a lot of coffee, right?
I heard you sparred Larry. Is that true?
So it's crazy. The first time I met Larry, he just jumped in the ring and asked me to spar. You know, he didn't know who I was. I like sort of knew who he was.
I definitely did not know who he was.
But he's a great inside the ring. He's a great shit talker. So I was letting him have it a little bit, you know.
Love to hear it. Great win for you tonight. Let's hear it for you.
Appreciate you, and everyone who's here to support the other fighters as well. Thank you guys for coming out. You guys are helping us live our dreams, so I appreciate that so much. Thank you.
Arnold A.G. Gonzalez.
Arnold Gonzalez giving a lot of credit to our promoter here, Larry Goldberg.
Arnold Gonzalez with a unanimous decision win. Good one here. And we got ourselves a New York City domestic clash here. Terrell Bostic and Matthew Gonzalez. Bostic from Long Island, Gonzalez from Ridgewood, Queens. It should be a lively one here inside Sony Hall.
This is definitely going to be a fun one there, Dan.
Very lively crowd here. It's definitely a sellout. Standing room only here at Sony Hall. They just saw Arnold Gonzalez, the hometown guy. And I liked what he said there in the post-fight interview, talking about how hard it is to put on club shows here in New York City, especially right in the heart of it in Times Square. We were out of the scene for a while when it comes to club shows, but we're back in a very big way, and it's been a great night of fights so far.
Boxing Insider has been doing this pretty regularly. They have another show coming up in August.
Nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest here at Boxing Insider Fight Night takes place inside of 8 rounds in the welterweight division. Our ringside judges are John Basile, Anthony Lundy, and Marcel Varela. Jamel Antoine is the referee in charge of the action. Our first competitor makes his way to the blue corner at this time. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Matthew Gonzalez.
12-0-1, Matthew Gonzalez from nearby Ridgewood, Queens. A raucous crowd, as you can hear. We got ourselves a domestic New York clash. Matthew Gonzalez.
His opponent, ladies and gentlemen, approaches the red corner. Here is Terrell Bostic.
Terrell Bostic, 8-1-0. Wine Dance, New York. I'll tell you what, Henry, this is an all-time walkout music from both fighters.
Absolutely.
Hate Me Now. Then we got Jay-Z, Takeover. Fighters are definitely from New York.
Absolutely. It's a great way to get pumped right as you're walking out.
Tail of the tape. Experience goes to Matthew Gonzalez. The reach, Bostic. Gonzalez 4 years younger. Eight rounds in the welterweight division. Throw up to Matt Compitello and get us started.
At this time, ladies and gentlemen, introducing competitors for this 8-round welterweight bout. First, boxing out of the blue corner, from Ridgewood, Queens, New York. Standing 5 feet, 8 inches tall. Weighing in at 140.2 pounds. Entering this contest with a record of 12-0-1. 8 out of his 12 victories by way of knockout. Here is Matthew Lefty Guns Gonzalez. And his opponent, boxing out of the red corner, from Wyandanch, Long Island, New York. Standing 5 feet, 8 inches tall, weighing in at 139.8 pounds. Entering this bout with a record of 8-1, with a victory by way of knockout to his name. Here is Terrell Bostic. We go to referee Janelle Antoine for the insurance for both competitors.
Gentlemen, you've been on the rules in the dressing room. I want a good, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Just touch them up. My box.
Quite the stare down between these two guys.
And no love lost between these two. Welterweights, 8 rounds. Matthew Lefty Gonzalez in the Carolina blue. Terrell Bostic in the Duke blue. Two New Yorkers settling their differences here in the center of the ring. We got our first southpaw of the night, and that is Lefty Gonzalez. That makes sense. Just talked myself right into that one. Seen early on, it's Lefty coming forward, deliberate. It's Bostic moving around the ring. See if that stylistically holds up in this fight.
It's a nice sneaky left hand he landed there on Terrell.
Looks like Bostic lost his legs a little bit. Is it just me or is Bostic's back filled with glitter?
He's shining tonight.
Can't say I've seen that before. Lefty Gonzalez, a local guy here in New York, been on the fight scene for a while. What can you tell us about Lefty?
Lefty, listen, Lefty is a power puncher, all right? But let that not be deceiving either, because Terrell Bostic also, despite him only having one knockout, he has dropped his last 2-3 opponents in the ring. And Lefty, though he has been inactive since 2021, he has stayed in the gym and helped as a sparring partner for Teofimo Lopez, for Amanda Serrano, and for Jermaine Ortiz against Lomachenko.
Yes, you heard that right. Amanda Serrano spars men, and she does damage. I've heard stories from my podcast partner, Chris Algieri, about Amanda Serrano taking it to her male counterparts in the gym.
Bostic is doing a good job in using his footwork to try to stay away from the heavy hitter, Gonzalez.
Yeah, we're starting to see a pattern here. We're seeing lefty come forward, trying to land those power shots, and Bostic saying, I don't want to get hit with those. I'm going to be on my bike, because that kind of is like a derogatory term in boxing, but he's moving. He's a mover.
He's definitely moving. He's laser focused. Nice check hook there by Terrell Bostic.
Lefty hasn't landed anything of note yet, but he's closing that distance. He's getting closer and closer. This is the chess match that I like to see. Is how is Gonzalez going to close that distance? And how is he going to get to Bostic, who is clearly in here to move?
When I asked Lefty yesterday for his prediction for this fight, he predicted a stoppage and said that if Bostic chose to box around, the stoppage will come later in the fight. If Bostic decided to stand there and fight, the stoppage will come early.
I think we know what Bostic's going to do.
Continue moving around, so it seems.
So you can see Lefty getting a little frustrated there. Take a look into the corner of Bostic, like, come on, man.
Brilliant boxing by Bostic there.
Oh, yeah, it is. It is, but is it going to win you rounds?
I mean, he definitely seemed to land the cleaner shots.
Bostic?
This round, I would say,
okay.
yes, absolutely.
You had Bostic winning the first?
I would give the first round to Bostic.
I think that might be our first B-side 10-9 of the night, unless you gave Munera one of those rounds. It's interesting to see what the judges look for. You see this a lot in the high-level boxing. It's the guys that are coming forward, even if they're not landing, are winning rounds. You see it all the time in high-level championship fights. Guys like Gervonta Davis, Jamel Charlo, Canelo Alvarez, they don't throw a lot of punches, but they walk forward, they move forward, they're giving the impression that they're looking to land something. Right. And I've seen, it's hard to get into the mind of a judge, but it's one trend that I'm seeing, and it's one pattern I'm seeing, that judges are awarding the fighter that's coming forward. And it's very clearly Lefty Gonzalez in this fight.
Yeah, the boxing judges is always subjective on how they make their decisions. But I think it's pretty clear that Bostic is making Lefty miss a lot so far.
First big right hand lands from Lefty Gonzalez, and he follows it up with another right. And a left to the body. Distance starting to close here. This is why I love boxing, Henry. It's styles. Bostic, a mover. Gonzalez, a hunter. So whose game plan's gonna work? And the best thing about the sport is you usually figure it out by the end of the fight.
Ooh.
Here on the inside is where Gonzalez wants to be. I feel like when he's in those clinches and in those inside parts is where he's got to do damage.
That's definitely where Gonzalez will have the most success. Is to pin down Bostic. Good right hook by Lefty Gonzalez. Bostic smiling. That's usually an indication that it was a good punch.
I want to see Bostic land something of note here. It's very hard to land something sharp when you're on your back foot. You got to be planted to land something. I think he's got to land something here to get the respect of Gonzalez.
I would like to see Lefty try to cut the ring off a little bit better. He seems to just be following Bostic around, giving him the space so that he can move freely.
How do you cut off? You hear that all the time in boxing. Cut up the ring, cut up the ring. You know, so Gennady Golovkin was one of the best to ever do it. Mm-hmm. How do you do it? Take us through it.
So the way you cut off the ring is that you don't want to go where you basically want to take a step towards where your opponent is going to be. Don't follow him around to the destination, beat him to the destination. And then as you're doing that, you slowly close in on the space to take away the so that way you can control the geography of the ring and take away the space so that there's no more space for your opponent to move around freely.
So it seems like Bostic is moving to his left a lot. So you want to see Gonzalez get out in front of that left.
Absolutely. So right there, see, he should be closing in on him just a little bit more by sidestepping. And therefore, once he closes in on the step to lefty's right, Bostic is going to be moving towards his right. Therefore, you can close in as you step back to lefty's left. Lefty's left.
Lefty's left. Here we are. Bostic, I don't know if you saw there, he kind of did an Olay, a matador. But I don't know, like, it's not going to win you rounds. I'll go back to it. Is that you're going to win rounds by just making your guy miss? You got to make him pay.
Absolutely. I feel like this round definitely Gonzalez was a bit more successful. Simply because he landed, I felt Bostic definitely spent a lot of time moving around, not enough throwing.
So through 2 rounds, you got it 1-1.
1-1 so far on my scorecard.
Nice. A great crowd here at Sony Hall. Hope everyone is enjoying a free night of fights on Boxing Insider YouTube page, brought to you in conjunction with Lou DiBella and Larry Goldberg. Had some great fights already tonight. Raymond Quadrado picking up a decision win. Arnold Gonzalez picking up a decision win. We still have our main event, Hammerin Hank Lundy taking on Kurt Scooby. 8 rounds in the welterweight division. Brian Ceballo, one of the most decorated amateurs to ever come out of New York City, is in our co-main event. Going up against Mitch Lewis Charles.
So far, some very entertaining fights we have here tonight.
As you can see, this wide shot, it's just, this place is crawling. It's packed to the gills. A great night of fights. Lefty Gonzalez in the light blue trunks. Terrell Bostic in the dark blue. It's been Bostic moving around the ring, being elusive. Lefty Gonzalez trying to establish the center of the ring, trying to land those power shots. He's gotten through a little bit with the right hand. Haven't seen him land that power left yet. Only a matter of time, I believe.
Just misses with that right hook. Bostic comes back with a right hook, body shot of his own.
And do you believe in ring rust?
You know, I do, because what happens is that when you're under the lights, it's a little bit different than sparring. You know, the feeling is different, the pressure is different, your mentality is different. So it takes a bit to kind of like snap back into that mode, especially when you've been off for quite some time.
Gonzalez has been off since 2021, like you said. A regular sparring partner of some of the biggest names in the sport. But it's different. It's different making that ring walk. It's different waking up knowing, hey, I have a fight tonight. Going through that rituals.
Absolutely. And you also got to understand that the urgency in sparring and the urgency in the fight are 2 different things.
Gonzalez sporting a little bit of redness and swelling underneath his left eye. Tell you what, Bostic is slippery, man. He is hard to hit.
He's definitely hard to pin down. And you can kind of almost see the frustration in Gonzalez.
Not to sound like a broken record, but he is Bostic is frustrating Gonzalez. I'm just not sure if you can win rounds moving around the ring, landing 5 to 7 punches around. But it's not like Gonzalez is landing anything of note either.
Absolutely. So it's like his 5-7 punches that he's landing compared to the 2-3 that good right hook that Gonzalez caught him there.
The ring generalship is one of the criterias of scoring. If you were to look up what the judges actually look for. So who is winning the ring generalship battle here, in your opinion?
I would say that Bostic so far, it's 50-50, I'd say. They each have their moments. Bostic, when he moves and lets his hands go, it's very, it works for him. But then when Gonzalez catches him with those 2 shots, those 1 shots every now and then, obviously there's a slight bit more of an impact than Bostic's punches.
Yeah. As long as there's swelling under the left eye of Gonzalez, a little blood coming from the nose. Not really stopping him from coming forward. An uppercut thrown there from Bostic. Not sure if it landed. Another close round. These are really, really hard rounds to score.
Absolutely. I would give this round to Lefty Gonzalez. I think he landed the more impactful punches here.
Through 3 rounds on our unofficial scorecard, it's Lefty Gonzalez up 2 rounds to 1. (29-28). What's going on in the chat? I haven't checked in a while. Off strength says uppercut wide open for blue. Off strength doesn't like Bostic moving too much. 20-18 lefty. That's after the second round. Got to catch up. Salute to the ring girls. Yes, always. Good call, Kyle. Round number 4. We're halfway through an 8-round bout in the welterweight divisions. Terrell Bostic in the Pepsi blue shorts, and it's Matthew Gonzalez in the Carolina blue shorts. The southpaw Gonzalez is starting to find a home a little bit. Once again, chasing Bostic around the ring. There, he's trying to switch it up right there. If Bostic finally lands something of note.
Nice right hand.
That was a clean shot from Bostic, the cleanest of the fight. How many miles do you think Bostic has moved around in that ring?
He's definitely been moving a lot tonight. But honestly, I think it's working in his favor because he knows he won't benefit in exchanging with someone as strong as Gonzalez.
I don't mean that in a bad way. Listen, everyone knows their strengths. It's not easy to move around like that and still pick your spots where you're going to land right like you did earlier. If everyone fought the same, it would be a pretty dull, boring sport. Right hand from Bostic. Catches the attention of Lefty Gonzalez. Lefty getting frustrated with the rabbit punches. Matthew Gonzalez, 13 fights, 8 knockouts. Hasn't fought since 2021. Bostic, on the other hand, only has 1 knockout in his 9 fights. And you can see why. It's just not his game. Hasn't tasted a defeat in his career. Oh, yes, he has. Excuse me. 8-1-0.
I would like to see Lefty try to follow up after he lands a shot on Bostic. He usually just lands a shot. So far, he's been just landing a shot and then just kind of stops there.
Upcoming tonight, our main event, Kurt Scooby and Hammerin Hank Lundy. Coming up tonight in mere moments, but we're watching a good one here in the welterweight division. Terrell Bostic and Matthew Gonzalez. Gonzalez, the prototypical power puncher. Bostic, the mover, the boxer. Bostic having probably the best round of the fight for him. Landed 2 clean shots early on. It's one of those fights where you can count on one hand the clean punches.
Nice left hand by Lefty there.
Bostic comes back with an uppercut. Henry, I'm asking you again. What was your scorecard? How did you score round 4?
I would give that round to Lefty Gonzalez. I thought he finished strong. He had a few good moments, as did Bostic, but I think that the way he closed out that round right there with those 2 hard shots might have just solidified that round for Lefty Gonzalez.
Lefty Gonzalez up 3 rounds to 1 on our unofficial scorecard. These are very close rounds. Neither guy really establishing themselves. Bostic moving around and also hot-shotting Gonzalez. Gonzalez having his moments, but not enough, and he'll probably tell you the same. Close fight. Blue Dub Boxing, is Steve Willis doing any fights tonight? I hope. I haven't seen Steve Willis. I got a selfie with Steve Willis at the Teofimo Taylor fight. I'm going to frame it and put it in my living room. Steve Willis is my favorite referee. Close fight.
Very close fight.
Sleeper on is saying the commentators are trying to make it sound like Bostic is in the fight still. Bostic is in the fight.
Absolutely. I would say he's definitely in the fight.
He's not
as
close.
active, but the movement is still there. Movement is still there. He's having some success every now and then when he does throw his shots.
Gonzalez can erase all doubt with a
good left
nice
hand
left
by
hand.
Lefty Gonzalez.
Gonzalez can erase all doubt and make this a demonstrative win in the next couple rounds. But for now, Bostic is surviving. Not my particular style that I like, but I respect it.
And, you know, that's the beautiful thing about boxing is that it comes down to being subjective, you know. Some people appreciate the movement, the technique. Other people want to see, you know, an all-out brawl. Some people like the aggressive fighter.
For a guy like Lefty, you got to figure out how to beat a mover, because you're going to see all different styles as you want to rise the ranks.
I think one way to step towards that, I think Lefty has to throw a little bit more than just a single shot. Follow it up with that right hook every now and then when he connects that left hand like he did earlier. He's starting to find a home for that left hand.
Bostic starting to open up.
Wow, look at those body shots. Wow, he gets caught right there.
And as Bostic hammers to the body, Lefty comes back with a left upstairs. Things are starting to heat up here at Sony Hall.
Crowd's on their feet.
Good gracious, it's loud in here. I love it. A hip toss there from Matthew Gonzalez. That's frustration. It's pure frustration. That was a WWE hip toss. Referee gives Lefty a stern warning. A fight has broken out here in round 5.
Another left hand by Lefty Gonzalez.
More theatrics here.
Lefty trying to use every trick in the book here, hey?
I mean, you see the frustration on his face. The hip toss. He looks like Lefty's a guy that he wants this fight to be going a little differently. Good round there.
Very exciting round. Very exciting round. I will give that round to Bostic. I think Bostic has a little bit more of successful moments there than Lefty did.
This was the best exchange of the round. Bostic landed a shot there, and you're going to see a counter shot right there from Lefty Gonzalez, right on the money. Good two-way action there in round 5. Still to come, Kurt Scooby and Hammerin Hank Lundy. It's our main event of the night. Hank Lundy has been in the ring with everyone from Terrence Crawford to Victor Postal, Ray Beltran, and many more. Kurt Scooby is up and coming. 11-0 at 9 knockouts. He has just signed to DeBella Entertainment. You've seen him on Showbox. Brian Ceballo is also in action, our co-main event. We got this fight, we got Ceballo, and then we got our main event. Lefty Gonzalez in the light blue trunks, Terrell Bostic in the dark blue. Bostic not moving around as much. Legs might be getting a little tired, or maybe it's a game plan. Second half of the fight, I'm going to stand and trade a little more. Do you think it's the fatigue, or do you think it's a game plan from Bostic, or both?
I think it's too early on to really say, because it's now that he's standing his ground. Could also just mean that it's time for him to start walking Gonzalez back a bit.
Danny G wants to know, what did Lefty do to win that round? Well, he didn't win the round on Henry's scorecard. Bostic won the last round on our unofficial scorecard. Rabbit punches here. It's getting a little feisty in there.
It definitely is.
Referee doing a good job, though, of limiting that. If he keeps up, you're going to have to take a point away. I don't know from who. Bostic firing off a jab now. Seeing a different wrinkle from Bostic. I like this. Very drastic turn from what we saw in the first 4 or 5 rounds, moving around in there. He's standing in there, and Lefty, I feel like, is a little, like, I wouldn't say surprised, but like, oh, wait, now he's standing in front of me. I got to take advantage of this.
I mean, you would think that Lefty would take a little bit more advantage now that he's a bit more stationary. But Bostic is still pretty accurate with his shots. Good right hand by Bostic lands there.
Under a minute here, round 6 of 8. Bostic doing a pretty good job here, standing his ground, firing off shots. Lefty not able to get any offense going in this round. Another tough round to score. Oh,
good uppercut.
It's up there. It's hanging in the balance this final minute. Final 30 seconds, I should say. Referee giving more instruction. I missed it. Pushing him down. We're seeing everything. Hip tosses, trying to throw him out of the ring. Rabbit punches, pushing down on his head, like right there. Referee's getting his money's worth tonight. Round 6 comes to a close.
I give that round to Bostic. I think he did have very good successes when he stood stationary, waiting to counter Lefty Gonzalez.
Bostic chose to stand and trade in this round. Oh, that's what the clear, you can't hold the head down and hit. I think Gonzalez is super frustrated.
You can definitely tell that he's starting to get a little frustrated in there.
What's the chat think? Who do you think's winning this fight between Bostic and Lefty Gonzalez? Seeing Lefty ain't doing what he's supposed to do, but he's still winning the round, says Sleeper.
They're definitely close rounds. And I think what makes it very close is that neither one of the fighters are super active.
Zay Greedo says Lefty won a lot of the early rounds just off being more active. I agree. Bostic got up to a slow start, but he's picked it up. Who'd you get that last round to?
I give that last round to Bostic. I thought he had a very good success countering Lefty.
So you have it even through 6.
So far.
We got ourselves a tight one here. Sony Hall. Terrell Bostic in the dark blue trunks. Lefty Gonzalez in the light blue. Dan Canobio here alongside New York City trainer Henry De Leon. Good fight. A thinking man's fight. Not a brawl by any means. A mover versus a puncher. What was a mover? Bostic is showing that I can go to the body.
Good body shots.
I can stand my ground, says Bostic.
Good body shot.
Firing off 3 to 4 body shots there, catching the eye of the judges. Lefty's got to do something here, man. He's got to step on the gas because Bostic's starting to seize a little bit of momentum in this fight.
Which is interesting to see with someone who just only has, on paper, 1 knockout. To stand in there.
Big right hand from Lefty. Raised Bostic, but it still made him think. A jumping Superman punch. Larry Goldberg is here ringside, furiously writing on his pen and pad. Our promoter alongside Lou DiBella. A raucous crowd here at Sony Hall.
so far,
Under a minute to go here in round 7. Bostic hammer into the body. Lefty trying to find openings, not finding them. It's Bostic who's doing the work in this round. Final minute. Director of Calisthenics on YouTube has this fight tied up. Zay Grito says Bostic is more effective in the second half. I agree.
Ooh, good left hand there by Lefty.
Final 10 seconds to impress the judges. Fight's tightening up. Lefty fires a right and a left.
Good finish by Lefty here.
When Lefty lands anything, this place goes ballistic.
Wow.
That came after the bell. We have seen almost every foul in this fight. Everything, including a shot after the bell.
Listen, Lefty's mentality right now is I gotta get it however I can get it.
Who'd you give that round to?
You know, I give that round to Bostic. I would say those body shots were very effective in this round.
So you have Bostic up 4 rounds to 3.
Yep.
We're heading into the final round. So Gonzalez wins this round. It's a draw. Gonzalez goes for a knockout. Obviously, he wins the fight. Drama.
It's a close fight based on my scorecard. I think that they're pretty evenly matched at this point. And I would agree with one of our viewers that Lefty Gonzalez isn't exactly doing what he should be doing to be a bit more dominant in this fight. And I think the crucial part there is that Lefty wasn't very successful at cutting Bostic off to prevent him from moving so much.
8th and final round here. Sony Hall. You got Lefty Gomez. Excuse me, Lefty Gomez. That's a picture for the Yankees.
Terrell Bostic here switching to southpaw.
Lefty Gonzalez in the light blue trunks. Terrell Bostic switching to southpaw in the dark blue, switching it up. He started off this fight as a mover.
Wow.
Middle rounds, he was standing and trading. Now he's a southpaw. And he's landed a beautiful left.
This guy's definitely keeping Lefty on his toes. Beautiful body shot.
Bostic says, oh, your name's Lefty and you're a southpaw? Watch this. I'll switch to southpaw and land several combinations on you. Whoever wins this round wins the fight, says one of our viewers off strength. I agree. Crowd is in a frenzy here at Sony Hall with 2 minutes to go in the final round. Is it going to be Mr. Lefty Gonzalez or is it going to be Terrell Bostic? Lefty's, he's got to step on the gas pedal here.
He absolutely has to step on the gas.
Minute 30 remaining.
Wow.
Right hand there lands from Bostic. It's Gonzalez shelling up and firing from the clinch.
If Bostic can pull this win off against Lefty Gonzalez, this will be a remarkable win for his career.
Absolutely. Came in as the underdog.
Absolutely.
A beautiful combination there from Gonzalez. Is it too little too late? Finding homes for these punches. Gonzalez is maybe listening to his corner, listening to the crowd, listening to us, might be down here. Bostic fires with an uppercut, but it's countered by Gonzalez. Is a close fight. Main event mark.
Beautiful uppercut there.
Final 15 seconds. With the chance of Lefty rain down here at Sony Hall.
They're going for it, man. Last 10 seconds.
Bostic raises his arms like he won the fight. Lefty smiles like, no, dude, I won the fight. We go through the scorecards here in Midtown Manhattan.
Sony Hall is erupting in here tonight. What a fight.
A great fight between Terrell Bostic and Matthew Lefty Gonzalez. We're going to go to the scorecards. This can go any which way.
I give that last round to Bostic.
So you got Bostic winning this fight 5 rounds to 3. I could see a draw. I could see Lefty Gonzalez winning a close fight off of ring generalship. I can't wait to see what everyone at home thinks. Let's take a look at what everyone says. Lefty should get the win, says Jason Sugure. A tie, says Mr. 3 times 100. We call that a draw in boxing. Director of Calisthenics, 5'3" Lefty. Razor thin, Josh Friedman. My guy. Shout out to 2 gems on the sport commentary. Appreciate that, Josh. Doc says Lefty won. Clone says Lefty won. Larry Liston says Bostic threw away another round. Sleeper has it 5-4 Lefty despite it only being 8 rounds.
Interesting.
I'm going to head into the ring and try to talk to the winner of this fight, or maybe both guys if it's a draw. Can't wait to see who won this fight.
What a night of boxing has been here at Sony Hall. Every fight so far, entertaining. It's always good to see the sportsmanship these fighters have, despite having the feud in the build-up to the fight. They let it all out of the ring, and then afterwards, friends. Here we go to Mark Capitello with the announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the ringside judges' scorecards. Andy Lundy scores the bout 78-74. John Basile and Marcel Varela score the bout 77-75 in favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision, Matthew Lefty Gonzalez.
There you have it. Matthew Gonzalez comes out victorious. Though by the sound of the crowd, not many people would agree with that. Either way, tremendous fight from both these guys. Beautiful performance.
I'm here with the winner. Raising both arms here. Let's talk to the winner first. Matthew, tough fight. Terrell came out moving right here. This camera right here. No, turn around. He came out moving early on. You were able to find him early and often. First off, did you think you won the fight and rate your performance?
I feel I won the fight 6 rounds to 2, to be honest. Terrell, he's a good fighter. I know he's a boss. You guys gotta remember something. This is my first fight in 19 months. Anyone who knows my backstory, you know what I have. I've been having terrible luck. Fights falling out. You know, ring rust is a real thing. I haven't fought in 19 months. This young man just fought a few months ago. He was active. And they put me on the B side for this fight. So anyone who wants to know, I actually came in as an opponent. Red corner is always the favorite to win, but we thought we won the fight easy. Anyone who thinks this, I don't take nothing from him. He could box, but this dude was in survival mode the whole fight. You can't win the fight backing up.
Were you frustrated at times? It looked like you were frustrated. We talk about the ring rust, but in the middle of the fight, Bostic, he stopped moving and he started standing his ground. You felt like he was coming on in the later rounds and was able to stand and trade a little more?
Well, his trainer, Jose, is a good friend of mine. I know since I was a kid. He has a lot of experience. I know that he must have told him in the corner, listen, you're down. You got to start backing him up. And Terrell started doing that. He started doing that later on in the fight, but I don't take nothing away from them, man. They're a good team. He's a good fighter. He's a good coach, but I won this fight hands down. Anyone who thinks I lost this fight, go learn boxing, man. Come on.
Been out of the ring since 2021. How active do you want to be in 2023?
I'm hoping to be back here in September. I know Boxing Insider's throwing another show, and we're just going to keep stepping up the competition. In September, you'll see a brand new version of me. I shook the rust off, and we're ready for whatever's coming next.
Lefty Gonzalez gets the win.
One more time, Matthew Lefty Guns Gonzalez.
Lefty Gonzalez gets the win. I was a little shocked by the scorecards. Unanimous decision, I don't know about that. Lefty was pretty demonstrative in that post-fight interview.
It's like you said in the beginning, though. It's like the judges, we got to take into consideration what they would prefer when judging fights like this. It's like you said, a lot of times, people don't always favor the boxer, the mover. They'd rather see the guy who's applying the pressure coming forward. But either way, listen, man, it was a great fight.
Yeah.
I think they both did a brilliant job. Lefty Gonzalez obviously came out victorious, and, hopefully this was ring rust that he just got to brush off, and hopefully he moves on and to a better performance in his next fight.
One last thing, Lefty did say he was in survival mode, Bostic. He was moving for the first half of the fight, but he did stand his ground from the fifth round on. Absolutely. And landed some pretty good shots, so I disagree with Gonzalez on that. He'll go back to the drawing board. He'll come back better. So will Bostic. He'll be on another fight card here at Boxing Insider. Move on with the action, our co-main event of the night. Brian Ceballo and Mitch Lewis Charles, middleweights. Crowd is buzzing here after a contentious fight, our most contentious fight of the night, the most even fight of the night. You take a look at Lefty Gonzalez leaving the ring. It's tough, hometown fight. You have a lot of fans here. He obviously didn't perform like he wanted to perform. He probably wanted to get a knockout. But you add it all up, ring rust and a guy that was slippery in there in Bostic, and you're going to get yourself a decision and maybe like a sour taste in his mouth for Lefty.
But I think he's happy that he was able to brush the rust off. He's back in the ring. He's back in the groove of things. And, I'm looking forward to seeing him fight again.
Yeah, got to be active. Inactivity is a real problem in boxing.
A real thing.
It's really hard to get fights in the local scene, especially here in New York. But with Boxing Insider teaming up with DeBella and here at Broadway Boxing, we're going to see more we're going to see more dates, fight dates, and we're going to see more events. Get these fighters moving.
So we're 3 fights in so far, Dan. You still have the first fight as fight of the night.
Yes, I absolutely still do have the first fight of the night. Raymond Quadrado and Yuri Andujar. You have to tune in early when you're watching Boxing Insider Broadway Boxing, because the first fight of the night might steal the show.
The action continues here at Sony Hall. It is Boxing Insider Fight Night. The following contest takes place inside of 8 rounds in the middleweight division. Our first competitor approaches the blue corner at this time. Here is Mitch Louis Charles.
Fighting out of Quebec, Canada, Mitch Louis Charles. Thirteenth fight of his career.
You know, tonight, I'm going to finish what I started, April 27th. So let's get going. You know, I'm the biggest star right now in New York City, and we're only chasing world titles. So let's do it.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, his opponent makes his way to the red corner. Here is Brian Ceballo.
One of the most decorated amateurs to ever come out of New York City. The likes of Mark Breland. Multiple times New York Golden Gloves winner. It's Brian Ceballo. 14-1. It's our co-main event. This is our tail of the tape brought to you by Boxing Insider. Ceballo has the experience advantage, as you can see. Mitch Luis Charles, taller, rangier. 8 rounds in the junior middleweight division. Brian Ceballo looking to climb that ladder. Go from standout amateur to professional contender, one-day world champion. Raised it up to the center of the ring, Matt Capitello. Get us started.
Ladies and gentlemen, the ringside judges are Georgi Gorgov, Anthony Lundy, and James Pierce. Jay Salzman is the referee in charge of the action. Introducing first, boxing out of the blue corner, from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, standing 6 feet 1 inch tall, weighing in at 153.2 pounds. He enters this bout with a record of 7-3-2, 4 out of his 7 victories by way of knockout. Here is Mitch, the Hope, Louis Charles. And his opponent, boxing out of the red corner, hailing from Brooklyn, New York, standing 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing in at 154.8 pounds, entering this contest with a record of 14-1, half of his 14 victories by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Ceballo. We go to referee Jay Salzman for the instructions for both competitors.
Mitch and Brian, we went over the rules of the New York State Athletic Commission before the bout. Always remember, respect the rules, fight your best, protect yourselves at all times, touch gloves, let's go to work.
All right, I'm ready for a co-main event. Seems like the chat is too. Solid amount of you in here. Appreciate it. Even you getting a shout out, Henry. Good job, Henry. Proud of you, says Curtis Jones.
Oh, my man.
We're underway. Co-main event of the evening. Brian Ceballo in the black and gold trunks. Mitch Luis Charles in the black and white. I think the crowd's buzzing still from that previous fight we just saw, Lefty Gonzalez and Terrell Bostic. Controversial. Lefty gets the win. So here we are with Brian Ceballo, one of the best amateurs to ever come out of New York. Beautifully with the left hand, a thudding blow landing on Mitch Luis Charles. Luis Charles, taller and rangier. We're going to see if he's going to fire that jab. Ceballo looking very poised, controlled. He is the fighter with the more experience. He's the fighter with the better pedigree.
And you can tell just by his composure, very relaxed.
You can tell by the mustache, too. Ceballo rocking the mustache. Distinguished. Beautiful jab.
a bit of a slow pace so far. Feel out round.
The prototypical feel-out round. Ceballo holding court in the center of the ring, firing off a jab, staying poised. Luis Charles not doing much of anything early on. Trying to find distance, trying to find range.
Yeah, Luis Charles is coming off of an impressive win. He defeated an undefeated fighter, Josniel Castro, beat him by knockout in the 4th round. Oh, good right hand. Good right hand by Mitch.
Catches the attention of Ceballo, wakes him up a little bit.
It's a little smirk right there on Brian Ceballo's face.
Lands another right hand. Green's looking for the distance, trying to find some range here. He's taller. I'd like to see him jab more.
It's a little bit of a knot on the right side of Mitch's eye there.
It was Ceballo with the heavier shots. It was Mitch Luis.
Seems like that left hook right there might have done a slight bit swelling underneath that right eye for Mitch.
How'd you have that first round?
I give it to Brian Ceballo.
I agree. He landed some good jabs, some eye-opening shots. For Luis Charles just wasn't enough. He had his moments. Let's see if Luis Charles can pull off a massive upset. Ceballo already at his feet here. Doesn't look like he's breathing heavy at all. Round 2 underway, junior middleweights. Brian Ceballo in the black and gold trunks. Mitch Luis Charles in the black and white. We're here at Sony Hall. Dan Quadrado.
Another chopping right hand there.
Ceballo's corner telling him, don't wait. Trying to get inside, but nice right there from Charles. Every time Ceballo gets close, he gets in the range.
He gets caught with that chopping right hand.
Luis Charles throws a right hand on the mark. It's going to make you think twice.
Absolutely. And that's just a good example that when the corner asks to don't wait and apply pressure, sometimes you can't because, you see that you keep getting caught with a shot like that.
There's that jab from Luis Charles. Got the reach advantage. Throwing it few and far between. Like to see a little more jabbing from Luis Charles and a little more inside from Ceballo. Fighting on the inside, being a little more aggressive.
Starting to find his groove in here. Mitch still doesn't seem like he's exactly comfortable in there.
Yeah, I feel like he's in between what he wants to do in there. As the taller fighter, historically you should jab and you should move and you should find homes for that right hand. Easier said than done.
Absolutely, especially when you have a quick responser like Brian Ceballo standing in front of you.
Shout out to my guy Ernie Green watching at home via Boxing Insider YouTube page. Got a good one here, heating up. Brian Ceballo and Mitch Luis Charles, 154-pounder. Ceballo, 14-1, really looking to go into overdrive and start to establish himself in what is a really, really competitive division at 154. Ruled right now by Jamel Charlo. You got Tim Zhu, Sebastian Fundora, Charles Conwell, Brian Mendoza. Probably leaving out some names. It's a loaded division.
Absolutely. Well, one thing that I really appreciate about Brian Ceballo here is his response time. The minute Mitch tries to attempt to punch, Brian Ceballo responds back with 2-3 shots, therefore paralyzing Mitch and making Mitch think twice before letting his hands go.
Deliberate fight here. Methodical fight. I'm expecting it to pick up. Ceballo poised, like we said.
Yeah, looking at that, at Mitch's eye, the right eye seems to be closing just a slight bit there.
Let's get into the corner of Ceballo. You're a trainer. What would you be telling him here? I do think he's winning, but what do you want to tell him?
I definitely think Ceballo's winning. I think that, if anything, I would just tell him to try to respond a little bit more. Definitely let his hands go whenever Mitch attempts to throw a shot.
Sleeper has Ceballo up 2-0. Zay Greedo in the chat has Ceballo up 2-0.
Wow, great left hook.
The left hook there lands on the mark from Ceballo. I think you heard your instructions, Henry.
You see, when you get caught with shots like that, it makes it harder for Mitch to even get comfortable in there. And that's what Brian Ceballo wants. He just wants to stay in his groove like that, to never really give the slightly taller, longer fighter a chance to get comfortable in there.
When you're Brian Ceballo, you're a decorated amateur, and you fought in some pretty big fights, some pretty big cards underneath Golovkin and whatnot. Do you think he's looking for an exclamation point? Do you think he's looking for a knockout? Like, a win might not be enough for him, a decision win. A knockout would get headlines.
I think definitely a knockout would be impressive, but I'm sure Ceballo would just want a dominant win, if anything.
I am a firm believer in stylish wins. A firm believer in making an exclamation point. You got to do it in boxing. Knockout sell. But you got to be patient. If you look for the knockout, it usually never comes.
Absolutely. And when you least expect it, it's there. Boom.
Well, doing a good job of cutting off the ring.
Yeah, that's experience.
He's right there in front of him. Ceballo let his hands go a little more. See, right there was a nice right hand there from Ceballo. You saw Luis Charles extend himself a little bit. He missed, and Ceballo made him pay. Something you've been saying all in the fight.
Absolutely. I just think that, Mitch, he's never going to exactly get comfortable. He's going to go right into survival mode, I think. He keeps getting caught with shots like that. Every time he tries to do something, Brian has a response for him. It's discouraging.
Final 15 seconds here of round 3. Brian Ceballo in control. But Mitch Luis Charles is game. He's tall, he's rangy. Hasn't found a home for those rights that he had in the first 2 rounds. We're going to move on to round 4.
Yeah, Mitch is definitely struggling to find his rhythm, and based on how things are going, Brian Ceballo is never really going to give him that opportunity.
We're going to look at some more great work from Ceballo. A nice flush left hand. And here's the moment where Ceballo was able to land some good shots there as well. Luis Charles extended himself there. Ceballo has been making him pay as a counterpuncher. I want to know where everyone is checking in from the chat. Where are you watching this fight from? We are here in Midtown Manhattan on a hot summer night. Sony Hall, Boxing Insider, Broadway Boxing, Larry Goldberg and Lou DiBella coming together to bring you some great fights. Round 4 underway. Ceballo in the black and gold trunks. Mitch, Luis Charles in the black and white. Dan Canobbio and Henry De Leon on the call. Ooh. I do not know the ring girl's name, Plum. Sorry, can't help you.
Yeah, I think that eye is bothering Mitch. That glove is
he's holding it.
Close,
Yeah. The referee's going to call time, and they're going to take a look at that eye. Henry, you were right on it about 2 rounds ago. Are they looking at the? Yes, they are. New York City has one of the strictest commissions in the country. Luis Charles said, "I'm good. I'm fine." Continue the action here.
It's a brilliant performance by Brian Ceballo so far.
Ceballo's workmanlike. He's deliberate. Very sound fighter. Looking for openings. Patient and poised. Has been the case since round 1. He's found some openings in this fight. I love that counter left.
Mitch is trying to use his jab now to try to keep him away, but Ceballo keeps closing in on him.
Ceballo is definitely closing the distance. I'd like to see him let his hands go more when he does close the distance.
Beautiful left hook.
There it comes. Nice right there. Goes to the body. He's got Luis Charles in the corner now. Charles doing the smart thing and tying up.
You know, at this pace, I think, Brian might get that stoppage you were saying earlier.
He's patient. It's an 8-round fight. We're in round 4. He's breaking Luis Charles down every round. If you're a patient fighter, you will get the stoppage. $14 seconds remaining here in round number 4. We're about to be halfway through the fight. Ceballo applying good pressure on Luis Charles. Charles in, I don't want to say survival mode, but he's doing everything he can to stay competitive in this one.
I mean, he's definitely trying to stay in the fight. But honestly, it's starting to seem to me that Charles is starting to look a little bit defeated, a little bit discouraged. He doesn't have quite an answer for whatever Brian Ceballo attempts to do. And as the round progresses, Brian Ceballo continues to land more and more shots.
Shout out to my guy, Dan, the Corona Premier user, watching the Boxing Insider YouTube page. Gotta love free fights. Free fights in an absolutely jam-packed ballroom here at Sony Hall. Right in the heart of New York City.
Great action here tonight.
Yeah, great action. We still have our main event upcoming. Kurt Scooby, Hank Lundy. 8 rounds coming up next. Got a sense of slippage.
Charles came out aggressive this round.
Well, the more aggressive Charles comes out, it's going to be good for Ceballo. As you know, when you open up, you become a little vulnerable. Ceballo is pretty precise if he's anything.
It's a great counterpuncher.
The chat has Ceballo up 4-0. I agree. Henry, you agree?
Absolutely. I have him 4-0 so far.
I haven't asked you in a while because we know. What do you want to see from Luis Charles? He's down 4-0. His eyes swelling shut. He's in there. He's outgunned. He's overmatched.
I think he should try to take opportunities, try to take advantage of those opportunities.
What happened there? Low blow?
Seems to be like a low blow, but from where we're sitting, it didn't seem like it was that devastating.
Very low shot there. Luis Charles really in pain there.
So now the fighter usually gets up to 5 minutes to recover from a shot like that.
I can't say I've ever seen a fighter take the 5 minutes, but Luis Charles is in a lot of pain on his face. You get the 5 minutes. Luis Charles is taking a one-sided beating in this fight so far.
It's interesting because honestly, like, this is also an opportunity for him to try to recover. So I would not be surprised if he decides to take majority of the 5 minutes, if not the whole 5 minutes.
It's like a machismo thing. It's like you never see the fighter take the actual 5 minutes because it's like, oh, it's a tough man sport. So,
absolutely.
But if you're Luis Charles, take it. Like I said, you're losing the fight.
You're losing the fight, so it could also be him trying to find him out of the fight, you know?
It was low. I mean, we've seen beltline shots.
It was pretty low.
You know, we've seen borderline low blows where they're given the 5 minutes. That was a legitimately low shot from Ceballo.
It's telling the referee that it hurts.
It does hurt. If you're a male, you know how much it hurts getting hit down there. And we are back to the action. I would say Luis Charles took 3 minutes. After a low blow there from Ceballo. Ceballo giving a warning. It was definitely not intentional.
Ceballo picking up exactly where he left off. If anything, he's probably now a little bit annoyed.
Here comes Ceballo, smelling blood in the water here. Minute 15, round 5, scheduled for 8. Ryan Ceballo with a big left. That's a knockdown, folks. Our first knockdown of the night.
That left hook has been finding a home all night.
We talked about this all night for Ceballo. He's composed, he's poised, but now he steps on the gas pedal, he can pick up a knockout win.
Charles being a little bit more effective with those jabs.
I'll give Charles credit. He's winging. He's not going to go down easy. He's going to be throwing those wide hooks.
Last last 10 seconds. Brian
Nice
finishing the
left there.
round with an exclamation point.
Ceballo chasing Luis Charles around the ring as we come to the close of round number 5.
Another dominant round by Ceballo. Excuse me, Ceballo.
Ceballo looks good. He's got an opponent in there that's tricky. You know, the tall, lanky, moving around in there. The thing about Ceballo, he's not going to deviate from his game plan. He's not going to deviate from his strengths.
I think the only thing that makes Mitch tricky at this point is that the crazy haymakers that he's throwing. Because, as you can see, Brian Ceballo is starting to land his punches quite easily. Yes, Charles is the longer, lankier fighter, but he hasn't really been using that to his advantage.
We move on to round number 6, scheduled for 8. Brian Ceballo, black and gold trunks. Mitch, Luis Charles, black and white trunks. Ceballo picked up a knockdown in the last round, round number 5. He's smelling blood in the water. He wants to pick up stoppage number 8 of his career. Continue to climb the ranks at 154.
Ceballo's definitely picking up the pace.
Ceballo does win this fight. I want to ask him in the ring if there's a name at 154. Or what do you want next?
His last 2 weeks in training camp, he was actually out in training camp with Earl Spence.
Wow.
He was out there sparring him.
Who do you like in Spence Crawford?
Oh man, that's a tough fight. That's a tough fight.
I still can't believe we're getting it. So oh, nice left there from Ceballo. I go back and forth. I started off Crawford, and now I'm leading Spence.
I think that's a fight that can go either way, honestly. And Crawford has, I think, just a little bit more tools than Spence.
I agree with that. Spence a little bit bigger, though. And I saw them at the press conference here in New York City. I was like, wow, Errol Spence looks like a middleweight. Speaking of middleweights, we got a junior middleweight fight here. Brian Ceballo. Could maybe see him one day at middleweight. But right now he fights at 154, and he's putting a hurting on Mitch Luis Charles.
Charles complained to the ref that was another foul.
Ceballo in stalk mode. Luis Charles occasionally firing off a jab. Not really doing a lot to establish himself. Love this shot right here. I feel like you're in the ring. It's a great shot. .30 seconds here, round number 6. Ceballo had Luis Charles down in round 5. Taking his foot off the gas pedal a little bit here in round 6. Charles is holding a lot now. He wants to see that final bell. But I truly believe Ceballo could use a stoppage. He can use that headline.
Yeah, at this point it really much seems that Mitch is just trying to go the distance. He doesn't really seem like he's that eager to trying to win, but you never know in boxing. All it takes is one punch. All it takes is for one fighter to be slightly careless and get caught with one of those crazy haymakers and game changer. Would you agree that it's so far a dominant performance by Brian Ceballo?
Oh, yeah. He's winning these rounds. Don't get me wrong. Like, he's getting good rounds, and he's doing a lot of technical things in there because he's a very technical fighter.
With the names that you listed before, right? Where do you see Brian Ceballo's potential in matchups against guys like that?
It's hard to tell. I mean, he's got the pedigree and he's very sound. The guys I listed, I think, are in a tier just above him. Obviously, the top tier. He's just got to keep winning. He's got to keep putting W's in there, and when it's that crowded of a division, stoppages help. But most importantly, wins. Just get a win column and then talk to your promoter and try to get an opportunity, work your way up. I mean, it's only his 15th, 16th fight. Those guys at 154 are just savages. Tim Zhu, Jamel Charlo.
It's definitely an interesting division.
Charles Conwell is like the sleeper of the division. Erickson Lubin came back last week. He looked good.
Yeah, he looked pretty good in the fight.
Considering the type of fight he was in with Lubin a year before.
That's why you can't always just base fighters based on their last performance. You know, it is real that sometimes a fighter might just have a bad day.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not like any other sport where you hunt baseball, 162 games, NBA, 82 games. You have singular nights, singular performances, 40 of them if you have a long career, where it's that night. You got to look absolutely outstanding on one night.
You know, and it's fair to say that from Ceballo, that one loss he has on his record, it's fair to say that he probably just had a bad night that day.
Yeah, there's no room for error in boxing. It's one of the most brutal sports. Brian Ceballo looking to climb up that ladder. Seventh round, we're scheduled for 8. Our main event is moments away. Kurt Scooby, a power puncher with 9 knockouts in his 11 fights, taking on Hammerin Hank Lundy. Lundy with one of those MMA records, 31-13-1. Lundy been in the ring with Terrence Crawford, Post-Style, Ray Beltran, and a slew of others. Looking forward to our main event.
Jab is working very effectively for Brian this round.
Louis Charles doing a really good job of surviving. He's clinching when he has to. He's moving. He's making it ugly in there. Right, like boom.
I mean, at this point, I think that's what he kind of has to do.
What do you want to do if you're Ceballo? Like, how do you get aggressive if you're not an aggressive fighter at heart?
I guess just taking more advantages of the opportunities he creates when he lands 2-3 shots.
That's right there from Ceballo with the body. That was a nice combination. 3-punch combination from Ceballo to end the round. We head into the 8th and final round. Brian Ceballo pitching a shutout. Closer and closer to our main event. What does our live chat think? Is Kurt Scooby going to win by decision, by knockout? Is Hammerin Hank Lundy going to pull off an upset at age 39? Turn back the hands of time.
Here we go. 8th and final round.
Eighth and final round here at Sony Hall. It's been all Brian Ceballo. Black and gold trunks. Mitch Luis Charles, a survivor. Wants to see that final bell. Eye was swelling shut at one point. He was down in the earlier rounds. Charles. Charles. 1-2. Moves out of the way. Ceballo talking to him, laughing. Texas Rob says Hank's going to shock the world in our main event.
You know, one thing that I really enjoy about these club fights here is that it's so small in here that it almost feels like the crowd is on top of the ring. You know, it gives it that kind of that old school vibe.
It's a low ceiling. It's a really nice ceiling, taking a look at it. Not a lot of fighters have looked up at the ceiling. There's only been one knockdown on this card, but really good fights. I've been to some other venues in New York where there's like a mezzanine, like a balcony, and it kind of like you feel like you're really on top of the ring. But this is a really nice venue. As Luis Charles lands a nice right hand. I'm talking about the ceiling of the architecture of this building. Luis Charles is like, hey, I'm fighting here. And then a nice right.
Yeah, Charles definitely came out a slight bit more determined this round, but
he knows it's the last round. He knows he doesn't have to go another one. He can maybe empty the gas tank a little bit.
last 60 seconds. Let's see how Brian closes out this round.
Final 30 seconds. Brian Ceballo pitching a shutout here. Curious to see if he is happy with this type of performance. I will ask him that in the ring. Is there anything else you would like me to ask him, Henry, or the chat?
You know, I'm curious to know who in that division would he ideally like. Because I know when I spoke to him yesterday, he says that he would like to do at least 2 more fights and hopefully by the end of the year start getting ranked in the top 10 so that he can start contending for a World Heavyweight Championship.
It's a pretty good plan. We fight to the final bell. Brian Ceballo, Mitch Luis Charles. Ceballo is going to win a unanimous decision here. Take a look at some of the work from Ceballo in this fight. He had Luis Charles down the 4th round. Was able to do pretty much whatever he wanted in there. Mitch Luis Charles had a few moments of resistance, but not nearly enough. Ceballo is going to move on to 15-1.
Great performance by Ceballo.
I'm going to head into the ring.
Here we go. Matt Patella going inside the ring and getting ready to announce the winner. challenge by Brian Ceballo. So all you viewers out there, let me know where you would rank. Where do you see Brian Ceballo? How far do you see him going in this division?
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we go to the ringside judges. Georgi Gergov scoring the bout 80-71. Anthony Lundy and James Pierce scoring the bout 79-72 in favor of the winner by unanimous decision, Brian Ceballo.
There you have it, Brian Ceballo by unanimous decision.
Brian Ceballo, the workman-like performance for you. You pick up your 15th career win. You happy with that win?
Yeah, I mean, I should have worked a little bit on cutting the ring off a little bit more to my right. I mean, props to him. He stood in there for 8 rounds, even after some hard shots. But, I mean, I think the crowd would agree. I think he needs to go run a marathon or something because the entire fight, it was just him going around and around and around. I wish we had a little more action-packed fight to give everybody here, all the fans that came out and spent their money and their time to come out here, something really good to see, you know? But overall, I'm happy. I'm continuing to get the work in. I should be going back in camp with Errol Spence after this, so it should be a great experience.
I'm going to ask you who's going to win, Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford?
You said who's going to win? Spence. Come on, is that...
Well, you do work with him.
No, I mean, even prior to me going out there the first time, I thought he was going to win. He's focused in the ring. He picks it up round after round. So, to me, that is a true winner.
Back to your career. You campaigned at 154 pounds, a very loaded division with some big names at the top, but I'm sure you want to work your way into the top 10. Is there a name out there at 154 or a plan for you that you're looking at?
Yes, definitely. I want to be able to get in the top 10 like I once was in the 147-pound division. Right now, I'm looking to just contend anyone that's in the top 10. Fundora just lost to Mendoza, to Brian Mendoza. So I think that would be a fight everybody would like to see. He's coming off a loss, so I think he's going to want to claim his name again, and I think I'm the perfect opportunity for him.
Brian Ceballo versus Sebastian Fundora. Maybe we see that one day. Great win.
Guys, I just want to give a big thanks to Platinum Inc. They've been extremely supportive, especially for this fight, and we're going to continue to create a great connection. And thank you to Larry Goldberg for allowing me to be on his card, and hopefully we're on in the future. So let's do this.
Brian Ceballo! New York City, Sony Hall, if you're enjoying Boxing Insider Fight Night, let me hear ya!
All right, we're getting ready for our main event. Brian Ceballo picks up a workman-like win. Mentions Sebastian Fundora.
That would definitely be an interesting fight.
Maybe he gets that down the line. He wants to get into that top 10, maybe one or two fights away from a Fundora fight.
You know, Fundora being the taller fighter, obviously, doesn't really exactly fight like your typical tall, lankier fighter. And as you can see here tonight, Brian Ceballo does a very good job of working his way inside. So it would definitely be an interesting matchup to watch.
But it is now time for our main event of the evening. Scooby, Lundy, 140 pounds. Let's get this one started.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for our main event of the evening here at Boxing Insider Fight Night, emanating live from Sony Hall. It takes place in the welterweight division inside of 8 rounds, and it is brought to you by Boxing Insider in association with DeBella Entertainment. Our first competitor makes his way to the blue corner at this time. Here is Henry Lundy.
Hammerin Hank Lundy. Another ring walk. 47 plus fights. Close to 50 fights. This man's been in the ring with Terrence Crawford, Mauricio Herrera, Thomas Dulorme, Victor Postal, Ray Beltran, John Molina Jr. He's been in the ring with them all. He's a veteran.
Got experience.
Tonight he looks to pull off an upset. He beat the up-and-coming Kurt Scooby. We've seen fights like this, these storylines as old as time. The old veteran versus the up-and-coming power puncher.
Big stride to the red corner at this time. Here is Kurt Scooby.
That's my man. So what I'm doing, my man's in there. Because that's my man. You know, you fucking with me, you fucking with me.
Scooby definitely taking his time coming out to the ring.
He's making it a dramatic, theatrical entrance. It's one of the best ring walk
great.
songs ever. Mike Tyson came out to this, and I'm telling you, it gets chills down my spine, bro. DMX, the intro. Here he comes. Kurt Scooby's life is one of perseverance, a rough childhood. Saw him in 14 different foster homes. So Scooby turned to sports as a getaway. He's excelled in both football and basketball, and eventually walked into a boxing gym where he would use that athleticism to amass a 130-20 record. And this place is at a fever pitch.
Once again, it's erupting.
For our main event. Kurt Scooby, 28 years old, 2 inches taller than Hank Lundy. Same reach, but look at the difference in experience. Hank Lundy has more losses than Scooby has fights.
Hank Lundy definitely mentioned that yesterday when I was talking to him. He said that he doesn't think much of Scooby. He says that it's the people that are making Scooby up to being something that he's really not. So it'd be interesting to see how Hank Lundy approaches Kurt Scooby tonight.
Sony Hall at a fever pitch. It's time for our main event. Let's throw up to Matt Campitello. Get this one started.
Ladies and gentlemen, this main event contest, emanating from right here at Sony Hall, is brought to you by Boxing Insider in association with DeBella Entertainment. And special thanks to Azad Watches. It takes place in the welterweight division inside of 8 rounds. Our ringside judges are John Basile, Georgie Gergov, and Marcel Varela. Jamel Antoine is the referee assigned to call the action in the ring. If you're ready, ladies and gentlemen, let's go! Introducing first, boxing out of the blue corner, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Standing 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighing in at 139.8 pounds, Entering this bout with a record of 31, 13, and 1. 14 of 31 victories by way of knockout. Here is Hank Lundy. And his opponent, boxing out of the red corner, from Duarte, California, standing 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at an even 143 pounds. Entering this bout with an immaculate record of 11-0, 9 of 11 victories by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, Kurt Scooby. We go to referee Jamel Antoine for the insurance for both combatants.
Getting over the rules in the dressing room. I want a good, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Just touch him up.
Well, Kurt Scooby has youth on his side. Hank Lundy has years and years of experience.
Youth versus experience. Kurt Scooby, the black and white, Hammerin Hank Lundy in the gold trunks. Our main event is underway. 8 rounds, 140 pounds. Lundy, a veteran of the sport, coming off of 5 straight losses. Scoby, a knockout artist, and he's got Lundy in a corner right now. Lundy's going to want to start firing off some shots here, get the respect early of Scooby.
Absolutely.
First off, Scooby has one of the most ridiculous physiques I've seen from a 140-pounder. This guy is a brick wall.
He looks like an action figure in there.
He looks like a middle linebacker. He did play football growing up. He did play basketball growing up. Man had a tough come up in California. Oh, a big right hand there. Scooby goes to the body and fires up top. Those are some crisp, clean, hard shots from Kurt Scooby.
He's definitely letting his presence be known inside that ring.
Scooby had just signed a promotional deal with Hall of Famer Lou DiBella and DiBella Entertainment.
Good body shot.
You've seen Scooby fight on Showtime. The 140-pound division is star-studded. I'm not saying Scooby is there right now, but you know he has his sights set on some of the names at 140. Grew up in California, but he calls New York City home. This is actually his first fight in New York City. Seen fighters really not liking hometown fights. Just take a look at Regis Prograis, what he did in New Orleans, putting up probably the worst performance of his career. Scooby looks very poised.
He was very comfortable inside that ring, landing these devastating shots.
Oh, man.
Body shot.
Those body shots are just lethal from
There
Scooby.
goes Hank Lundy responding.
Lundy is taking big shots here. Lundy fighting on the clinch, landing some shots here. Still hasn't done really anything to get the respect of Scooby. And those are just digging body shots. Every punch that lands from Scooby makes the crowd erupt here at Sony Hall.
Yeah, Scooby looked like he's having the time of his life in there.
Very smooth, very fluid.
Good body shot. I love the body work Scooby's investing early on in the fight.
Good round there from Kurt Scooby. A really good round from Scooby, but not according to his corner. His corner is screaming at him, saying, "Where's the jab?" If you take a look at this, Kurt Scooby is not using a stool. He is standing up in his corner. That's like an intimidation thing.
It's definitely a psychological thing, you know. And a lot of fighters, what they tend to do is like they don't sit down during sparring, so they're like, why are we going to do this during the fight? You know, so it could also just be a routine thing.
I kind of love this from Scooby's corner. He had a 10-9 round, clear 10-9 round, did everything he wanted in there, and his corner's still not happy, saying, where's the jab?
Yeah, he definitely let his power be known that first round.
Round 2 underway, our main event of the night, Kurt Scooby, black and white trunks, Hammerin, Hank Lundy in the gold. Dan Canobio's Henry DeLeon as Lundy lands his first punch of note, a quick chopping left hand, and he gets out of there. Scooby's got him in the corner where he had Lundy earlier in this fight.
It's interesting because even though Scooby's missing some of these shots that Lundy's blocking, they're still throwing him off balance.
Yeah. He's just applying a lot of pressure, Scooby. Even if the punches aren't landing, it's effective pressure. It's haunting pressure. Lundy taking, every once in a while, Lundy eats a flush shot. Oh,
a lot of body shots.
Those body shots are just
devastating.
It's hard to express how loud they sound here at ringside. I hope it's coming through at home.
Listen, there's one thing that I appreciate about fighters is a fighter that can dig a body shot. And this man, Scooby, he's digging that body shot.
Scooby's smiling in there. Lundy taking more and more flush shots here.
Yeah, I don't think Lundy wants to be on the ropes like that.
He doesn't want to be in the ropes, but he's finding himself on the ropes a lot in this fight.
Wow.
Oh, right hand.
Wow, what a
right
shot. Wow, and down goes Lundy.
A right
Unbelievable.
Hand, a right hand absolutely stuns Lundy. Shocked him.
This place is erupting.
Lundy is up at 8. He is one tough competitor. Hank Lundy's going to try to go out on his shield here. Scoby is smelling blood in the water. It's all Kurt Scooby here.
Wow, another right hand. Wow, there we go. Look at that.
It's all over.
Amazing. This crowd is erupting.
It's all over. Kurt Scooby, second round knockout of Hammerin Hank Lundy.
Amazing. What a wow. Listen, Dan, I don't know about you, but I think we have a star in the making here, man.
Kurt Scooby with a devastating second round stoppage of Hank Lundy. He went to the body, he went upstairs. That was the first knockdown that was almost like he shocked him.
Unbelievable.
And then just, it was a matter of time. I give credit to Hank Lundy for coming up and fighting on after that first knockdown. What a performance by Kurt Scooby. This is, I'm telling you, knockout sell.
Listen, man.
This is how you
this
get the
atmosphere
attention.
is insane right now. Obviously, this is what the people wanted to see tonight, and Scooby delivered. The knockout streak continues. Unbelievable performance.
He moves on to 12-0 with 10 knockouts. You see him in the ring there with Lou DiBella, who just signed him. Lou DiBella has moved a lot of fighters from amateur status to contender status to world titles. So you know Lou's going to have a lot to say about this. I'm going to head up to the ring and catch up with Kurt Scooby. Wow.
Lou DiBella over here saying that Scooby's a bad man. Unbelievable performance. Scooby's last fight, he was able to get some buzz off of that last performance, and this fight now, with a name like Hank Lundy, people are definitely going to start taking notice to Kurt Scooby. The sportsmanship that they're showing now after the fight. paying each other respect. It's always great to see. What a performance for Kurt Scooby for his New York debut.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of our main event of the evening by way of technical knockout in 1 minute and 54 seconds of the second round, Kurt Scooby.
Before we get to Scooby, we're going to talk to Hammerin Hank, who has a message for the fans and the boxing world.
Appreciate all y'all, man, showing love and support coming out to the fight. I appreciate Scooby, man, hell of a fighter, man. Listen, I'm actually a football player, too. I play semi-pro football. At the age of 39, I'm still out there, you know what I mean? But listen, I want y'all to show love to when this brother fight. I'm going to keep it real. This was my last fight, man. 17 years in the pro game, man. This was my last fight. And listen, I'm passing the torch to Scooby. Congrats.
Great respect, great career, Hank. Class act. The man of the hour, Kurt Scooby. You called New York home. Your first fight here in New York. Devastating knockout of a name like Hank Lundy. How you feeling, man?
Alhamdulillah. Like I said, Brooklyn's my house now. And I let every boxer know, Brooklyn's my house now. I signed with Lou DiBella. We're going to make it more. This is my house. Brooklyn's my house.
Lou, you've guided a lot of careers. You've been with a lot of fighters, champions. What do you see in this kid right here?
The whole package. You know, charisma, character, and he can knock holes through walls. And that's what people want to see, electricity in boxing. And we're going to be, this kid's going to be big news in New York. Just keep watching. And 8/18, August 18th, overtime boxing on DAZN. Scoob will be fighting.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah today.
Final message to all your fans out here, and maybe a message to the 140-pound division, too.
140. I'm here. I'm here. Yo, I want to give a big shout out to my team. Without them, I'm nothing. Without Allah, I'm nothing. And my managers, I'm everything with them. And I thank my man right here, Slavic Popka. That's my man right there, too. He saved my life. And my beautiful fiance, Christy Bonacci. That's my girl. That's my girl.
Great stuff. Kurt Scooby, everybody. What a win.
It's a great showcase for Scooby here in New York. You know, I would have to agree with Lou DiBella. I definitely believe that Kurt Scooby is a star in the making. He has a very bright future.
Wow, what an awesome night of fights, highlighted by Kurt Scooby dominating knockout over Hammerin Hank Lundy, who actually retires in the ring. A great career. That was just a great moment there from Hank Lundy. Take a look at the final ending here for Kurt Scooby, who is going to be a force at 140 if he keeps his head on his shoulders. Got a great promoter with Lou DiBella. final messages from tonight.
And listen, man, it was a great show. Now that we concluded the show, do you still think bout one was fight of the night?
Yeah, fight of the night, performance of the night obviously goes to Kurt Scooby.
I think this was a brilliant performance by all the fighters on the card. Obviously, they all came in determined to win, and it was a great showcase of boxing here in Sony Hall for Boxing Insider Promotions.
A great night of fights here from Sony Hall. I want to thank everyone who tuned in over on YouTube. Thank everyone who came here in attendance. Kurt Scooby puts a punctuation mark on the night with a big knockout. For Henry De Leon, I am Dan Canobio. Thank you, everybody. Good night.